All right, welcome back, everybody, to BCS Italy. Let's hope this is working. No promises. We'll see. I suppose it's all being recorded just in case this doesn't work. Of course, we got in the background. We got the presentations happening, as well as the judges explaining how the tournament's going to work to everybody here. So, of course, as you guys would have seen, we have about 160 players here today, which is a huge amount. So we're looking at 7 rounds of Swiss, followed by top 16, effectively. But don't forget, with the seasons don't go anywhere, because at top 32, we're looking to be getting a Dragon Empire PG. So what's probably going to happen is I'm going to probably go back to the Slamming Soon screen in just a moment, as the pairings are just about to be announced. And as soon as they are, I'm going to bring the players over. We've got a pretty exciting Grand Blue variant for you guys coming up in round 1. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. Any issues, let me know in the chat. We've done a couple changes, so we might have a couple audio issues. If we are, please let us know. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Take care, guys. All right, guys, and welcome back to, well, I suppose welcome to BCS Italy. For round 1, we've got Haroon here on an interesting build of Nitros, actually, facing against Fated King, who's, interestingly enough, on the brand new Jeweled Magnus.
So first of all, we don't have a projector. As you can see, we will not be displaying the time. So we will be going around with some QR code. If you want to take a picture of a QR code, those will be the timers. So you will be allowed to have one phone per table with the timer.
There you go, guys. Sorry, we're going to be getting a little bit of audio back to the background because a lot of players need to be hearing a lot of the announcements, especially with regards to timers, since they aren't visible, as you can hear. So there's going to have to be a separate timer here for the players. So, of course, Fated King on the right, Haroon on the left, and they're going to stand up the Vanguard, with Fated King going first by the looks of it. There you go. So for everybody who's kind of been out of the loop for a little bit, yes, it is correct. You heard right. Jeweled does indeed have a new form.
That some of you, or maybe all of you, have received the side event tier pack. So we are
on the other side.
Going to distribute an extra.
Haroon going to the offensive here.
To every one of you. So you will get 2 packs.
You're going for the end. That's going to be a front coming out of Fated King. And 16 with a trigger to hit, no guard, followed by, unfortunately for Haroon, a Ghost Chase here, and yeah, suddenly a cycle there. So this build has actually been popularized by Cormac back in BSF Manchester. One of the most interesting things about this build of Nitros is that it stops trying to kill your opponent and decides that the way to win is to deck your opponent out and to continuously build big fronts, boards made of big fronts. Effectively, the idea becoming that your opponent will eventually run out of the shield because each front demands 45k shield out of your opponent's hand in order to counteract, and you're basically just gambling your opponent will eventually just not have it.
Okay, so
in the meantime,
30 minutes. This is the first round. Good luck to every one of you. Stand up.
Of course, please remember that, of course, this matchup has a separate timer. So any sort of information you hear about timers relates to other players as opposed to our feature table. Meanwhile, the interesting thing with Jeweled here is it seems to have a lot more consistency in the existing Jeweled builds. And I mean, Set 11 isn't out for us yet. Of course, Sneak Peek's happening this weekend. So if you're around, please do check out your local game store. They're really are the lifeblood of this community. So do attend and try and, score a couple pieces ahead of the new set's release. But until then, we are going to be primarily running Jeweled Ignis. So you're going to be looking at the new Grade 3. If you're pushed to 4, you might drive check, but you're also going to be looking to go into the Grade 4 and try and tank out your opponent. So this is very much a matchup of 2 decks that try and play the long game. But I think Haroon might be a little bit favored here because, unlike Ignis, it keeps popping the pack row, but Haroon doesn't care, does he? A lot of his things are hollowed. They're going to die. He has no real interaction to the front row, and Haroon's scaling is, frankly, just better. When it comes to the short game, maybe you can argue that Ignis has the upper hand for a turn or two. But this is a deck that's very much going for the deck out plan. And so by the end of it, Haroon just outscales his opponent. And you can see she's already trying to push him to 3 because, you could try and play that game, or you could just try and kill them beforehand, which seems to be what he's trying to do here. Yeah, you can see the 3-0. But also, this is also a stage where Jeweled, because of the new Ignis, which, for those of you that were here for Vienna, welcome back. We did manage to fix our overlay, but unfortunately, he is running a 0 main deck Jeweled Ignis. Ignis effectively says that when he attacks, it's the same effect as old Jeweled, except, Soul Blast 4 of different grades. Your opponent's power go to 0 instead of 1, which is important. If your opponent's grade 3, it gains a crit, but if you either Persona of this turn or are at 4 damage, you can choose one of his archetype. I think it's a Demonic Jewel Dragon and give them and they're able to then perform drive checks for the turn. But I think your opponent's grade 3 locked first, so it's like a go in second locked card. And then you just go into Ignis and just pray. But yeah, with the new Lithogor restander, you are then able to sort of restand really aggressively, even if you're going first, like in this case. So for example, proceeds to go 28. Haroon goes, yeah, sure, that's fine. And then Folklore resolves because, of course, he drove the Lithogor early this turn. He has to draw one more card and pass over to Haroon to see him liberate the Generation Zone and continue to stride. There you go. Shows us the Soul Blast 1, top 7, 1 to hand, 1 to drop zone. The Colombard special, if you will. Yep, Inland Golf to hand, Inland Golf away, and Inland Golf for stride. Again, you'll notice that this build of Nyros is really, really focused around guarding really efficiently, constantly generating shield value, and effectively building bolts for nothing and just generating a lot of hand. You see, he just continuously plays a lot of fronts that are just big shield, but things to soul so you can spam in long golf for effects and try and smile as much as you can off of that.
EKo, right?
Right. Yeah, sorry about that one, guys. There we go, yeah. Haroon's going to be showing us the big Obadiah and the top 5 mil. Of course, we're going to be CB1, Reviving the Bone. Again, this is a deck out game. And Haroon is then going to be able to utilize some of the Christiana support that Cormac popularized in order to be able to bot tech pieces back later on in the game, including PGs. So a lot of PGs and triggers going around, and this is going to, presumably, if Haroon doesn't start checking triggers, go a fairly long way. There you go, and that's going to be Reviving the Inland Golf Soul Blast 1. Again, such a tight resource loop, and that, yeah, there you go. Straight to the hand for the Marauding Shade. Oh, maybe not, thinking about it? Probably a Marauding Shade here now. Yeah, that's a Marauding Shade to hand. So again, you're able to convert all of this. So when the new Soul fronts, they go to Soul, and that Soul then becomes an extra card in hand. So again, really, really tight. I'm a big fan of this. Like, it plays just differently enough to how Grand Blue is traditionally played that I've been really a big fan of how this has been kind of panning out, we should say. That's going to be a critical trigger as well coming out. It looked like he said, no, I showed him a PG. Again, much safer, feeling much, much safer at this stage. And yeah, Haroon's just thinking where to put it. And if that's just another front, it's just that easy, baby. It's just that easy. God, 48. So, and yeah, that's where the crit went as well. And is Faded King here really going to consider going to 5? No, burning 2 PGs on first stride. That's got to be a scary position to be in. Ooh, and he's cutting a Tizcar. Yeah, apologies for the lag there, guys. We couldn't quite do anything about that today. But, unfortunately, one of the constraints of locations. But no, that is really unfortunate for Faded King here. Burning 2 PGs this early, before Haroon even started really scaling, can be really scary. But that's just the power of fronts. Fronts will just do this to you. Because the thing with that 48 is, if you're Faded King and you're sitting on, a nice, cool, calm 4 damage, you're 13. You're going to need 40k shield. That's 3 cards out of your hand. And, especially at this stage before you've really started farming, that can be really, really scary. It's not only 3 cards, but 3 triggers. And yeah, I don't think because Tizcar is only the 5, I don't think you're risking dropping then another 5 and then 2 triggers. You're risking it just a little bit too much if it doesn't pan out. Yeah, Ignis and will pull out. And the Folklore, of course. So for anybody who's not been around for a while, and maybe missed a recent wave of support, look what we've got coming back. We've got Lethal coming back. And his effect is on place. If you're on Jadul, you can Energy Blast 3 draw a card. And when he attacks, if you have 4 or more different grades in Soul, he gains 10k. And then when you Soul Blast 4, if you can counterblast 1 and stand him. So he's like the old Rockagore, but he also draws your card, and the 10k goes live a little bit earlier. So it's not big. It means that you have a couple more restander, but if there's anything we learned about Jejuled, is you can never be asking for too little. Again, the deck can always do just enough to pressure people. And of course, Haroon is going to be showing us that Ghost Chase. Bouncing his Inlog off the hand, so of course now he has Stride Folder for next turn. Again, one of the interesting things, we've also been seeing a couple lists I don't know how I feel about it though. Trying to run like 1 or 2 Magnolia Elders in the deck, so that when you bounce the Inlog off, they become 15k shields. But I think that's trying to spread the deck just a little bit too thin, in my opinion. So I really like where the list is currently. There you go. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Remember that for the purposes of Ignis, any Jejuled Soul Blasted can be regarded as any grade. So it's a very, very efficient fixer, especially later in the game when you start seeing things. Counterblast 1, Vorpal into Soul. Because he stood nothing yet, he stands the Ignis, and then Counterblast 1 to stand the Lissagor. Of course, there's going to be swing for 28. Pops his back row. Arun's going to say PG. 2 of us can play that game. And he's going to go first check. That's going to be yellow over trigger. Phenomenal card here. Again, slightly punished by Harun not dropping a real shield here. PG is the only thing that yellow team doesn't really get around. But yeah. Shows him, yeah, pops the 1. Shows him 1, 2, and 3. If he just had Malvina gone, it would be 4 cards. Second check, going to be ladder, and third check. Unfortunately, third check is going to be. I didn't quite. I believe. Don't quote me on that. You know, I believe it's been this guy. I think. Don't quote me on that. Yeah, at the end of it, the tire draw. So again, these are really interesting decks because it's a matchup for like 2 decks with very healthy hands generally, and ones with like quite efficient numbers and retire. So yeah, there you go. And Harun's going to immediately start flipping roses because yeah, the thing is, when you're on putting your opponent on 4 damage this early, kind of what's the purpose of not trying to just go for game every turn, right? Because the thing is, like, on 5 attacks a turn, eventually your opponent's going to have to take something, right? You just can't be playing that passively, and it's going to be super, super scary, and your opponent just eventually has to concede something. And maybe in this case, that something's the game, right? Who knows? But man, just think, seven rounds in top 16. If that's how the first round goes, I know some really, really cool decks in the room today. I'm really excited to show them to you guys. We might be making a surprising amount of buddy fighters in this room. So I'd love to bring a couple of those to you guys. If people are interested, we'll see. Speaking of, have people been pulling for the buddy fight set? More appropriately, did you pull a buddy fight rare? Thank God, the ace unit comes out and the Inlog of, again, farming so much hand. And yeah, that PG in the back row means that Harun is able to just intercept from back row and just get a free PG early on before his opponent starts retiring things. Yeah, first swing is looking to be what, 23? Oh, sorry, 28. I'm assuming if he's giving us a front. Oh, 35. That's scary. Takes it, goes to 5. It's a critical trigger. Again, as good a time as any for a defensive. Swings as going to be a counterblast 1. Pop to revive 2. And we're going to be swinging with a crit at our opponent and see if that's enough. The thing is, Fated King showed us his OT. Can Harun show us his? That's the thing, like, unfortunately for Fated King, with 2 PGs already out, it really makes you wonder how much can he really do here, right? Oh, he can do 1 more apparently. 1 more check. That's a bone. That's a crit. Of course, it's just that easy. Everything on the inline off in 3rd check. That's going to be another front. Do you ever get a feeling of deja vu? But chat, if you close your eyes, does it almost feel like nothing changed at all? That's looking to be what? 35, I think? 40? Oh no, 43, 40, yeah, 40. God, jeez. We call these le big numbers. And that's unfortunately going to be game with Haroon taking round 1 of BCS Milan. Oh, Italy? Milan? Oh, we'll go Milan. So guys, don't go anywhere. We're going to be queuing up round 2 straight away. Well, not straight away. It's going to be a few minutes break. I'm going to try and work on the transitions in the meantime and go around picking out a deck for you guys. So don't go anywhere. Stay safe and stay tuned because we'll be right back. See you in a few minutes, guys. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to temporarily just be hanging out here. We might be a little bit quiet during the rounds. I know we've got, unfortunately, just a piece of cloth separating us from the players. So it's going to be a little bit, we're going to have to be a little bit quieter than usual just so they don't hear us. Unfortunately, just one of the restrictions that comes with certain venues. But besides that, I want to say a huge thank you to the staff. I'm going to say the name of the place. I'm just going to dodge it for the time being. But obviously, huge shout out to Ricardo for helping us organize, as well as all the Italian community for turning up. Genuinely, we did not expect this event to be as big as it is, so it's been really, really cool seeing that obviously as the Italian format kind of slowly died out over the past couple of years, watching a lot of the players transition over to the, I suppose, more international community has been really, really good and really reaffirming to see. It's really, really nice seeing the game grow. And I'm repeating myself a bit. It's a bit impromptu. I know that a lot of you guys have kind of tuned in, so thank you to everybody who came from a different fight stream. I hope you guys enjoyed the WGP happening of this weekend. I know that he was restreaming it all night, so thanks for turning up. Unfortunately, we had to stop the Twitch stream because the signal is just, it's good enough to sustain one just about, but a bit too rough to sustain 2 streams. So we'll just probably stick to it for the time being. If the Wi-Fi magically fixes itself, we're probably going to go, actually we're probably not going to do the multi-stream today. I think that's probably going to be something we're going to be a bit more vigilant about in the future. It's sometimes a bit hard to predict how the internet is going to respond throughout the day. So it's just a case-by-case basis. We're going to have to kind of learn as we go along at the end of the day. But obviously, everybody who comes in, thank you for choosing to spend your weekend with us. I know it's a lot of time. It's a long event. And yeah, I just want to ask how everybody's doing. Welcome everybody slowly. I know everyone's been slowly coming in over the rounds. Obviously, round 1 we had Drajuld versus Night Rose. So everybody who missed it, look forward to when the live is fully up. Or you can just, one of the benefits of streaming, I know Twitch recently introduced scrolling back, but it's for subscribers only. But in YouTube, it's just a feature. So I'm kind of prioritizing YouTube at the moment. So if there's ever any confusions or people want to watch back a couple games, maybe you walked away for 5 minutes, you got a coffee, went to the bathroom, and you want to sort of catch up and see where you missed, do consider scrolling back a little bit on YouTube and see what happened. But yeah, obviously, this is the last format of the set 10, last event of the set 10 format. Set 11 comes out next week, so we're going to have new Prison, new Vivace, and most importantly to me, new Heroes and new Jiva. So it's going to be a big shuffle. There's going to be a lot of new decks entering the metagame, a new Chorus Terrain as well, new Youthberg support. So when February happens and we're going to finally get the Nebula Knights order, there's actually a pretty good case to be made that Youthberg becomes a meta threat again. So who knows, maybe Alex wins World again. Who knows? For Standard, it could really be anybody's guess. So stay tuned, play your games and see how things pan out. And guys, what's going to be happening is over the next few minutes, we're going to be continuing with round 2. So we're probably going to take a small, well, not even like a break. Actually, no, whatever. We'll just stick around. We're vibing. We got a couple more minutes till the end of the round. I think it's about 2 or 3 more minutes, and the round will be ending. And then it's going to be calling for time. So when they call for time, we're going to take a little break. I'm going to grab a quick drink ahead of the next round. And then it'll be 5 minutes until round 2 begins. So kind of within the next 5 to 10 minutes, we're looking to continue the next round. In the meantime, I'm going to be picking out a couple of players that could potentially be joining us. So do not go anywhere. Stay safe. I'm going to go grab our round 2 pairings just so they know to come to us as soon as they're ready. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Take care, guys. All right, welcome back, everybody, to round 2. We're going to be transitioning right over to the main fight screen. Let me readjust how we're going to be doing the microphone a little bit, just because we're going to have to get around the fact that there is only a bit of fabric between us. And of course, there's going to be round 2 between Matt and Ona. So again, one of, let's call it Kyrie's strongest soldiers, versus one of Shiranui's greatest champions.
Okay,
So yeah, this is actually going to be a somewhat interesting matchup because on the one hand we've got Shiranu here, which is a deck that is continuously dominating, pun intended, the format. And on the other side is Kairi, a deck that has not been showing up as much outside of the Lyrical Cup, but is certainly able of putting up results, as Romain showed us last year in Portugal. And the deck is new and improved with a new support from set 8. And I mean, as a deck that bounces most of its board, it might prove to be a fairly difficult matchup for Shiranu to really be able to contend with. So this is the kind of game where, of course, Matt's going to want to go first, Nui's going to want to go second, and it's going to get to go kind of back and forth, actually, going forward. So you get a GG, things you love to see. Oh, they're going to be fist bumping each other. Let's just double check that the camera is all well connected. There we go. Sorry for the technical difficulties there. We're going to have to check that one in just a moment if this keeps happening. So again, apologies. Experienced a little bit of technical difficulties. The Wi-Fi can be a little bit spotty. So even though the white connection is wired, unfortunately, continuity camera can sometimes rely a little bit on the network. And yeah, we're going to get to see Matt going first, riding the Sedna, followed by Una riding his Crest Generator. Yeah, immediately shows us that 3 energy. And again, Nui's one of those decks that kind of keeps getting hit, but keeps getting back up. It's a deck that kind of keeps adapting, keeps finding new lines, new ways of playing that just keep reinventing themselves. Definitely one of the most interesting decks to see again. Yeah, there you go. That's an OT to pass, and he shows the front. Yeah, and we're going to get to see the complete relentless aggression coming out from Una's side. You're just hoping to get to drown these moments before they get to let swim. Yeah, rides the Aqua. Energy Charge 3 shows us the center Soul Blast 1. I think it's top 5 for a Mermaid, I believe? Top 7. Top 7 for a Mermaid. Let's see what we can find, because Kairi is one of those decks that's actually very fortunate in that basically the whole deck is Mermaids. So you're able to, there you go, and you're going to get to search out the brand new support card, one of my personal favorite cards out of this kind of entire wave of Kairi support, because she came out in, I want to say, set 8 as well, alongside the new Kairi. She was like the main, call it grade 3 support card. And we're effectively looking at, sorry, at Apoleo, I believe is how you pronounce the name. So it's on place if you're on a Mermaid. You counterblast 1, and you top 7 for a Mermaid, add it to your hand, and then you can effectively go, whiff and shuffle if you want to. You chop to 1 Mermaid without Sentinel, or I think it's Prism Pearl and Twinkle Powder? Twinkle. And you reveal one of them, put it into your hand, and shuffle the deck. If you choose to not reveal one, you countercharge it back. So in things like Highlander, for example, it just becomes your kind of like in-archetype shuffle, which is actually really, really cool. And I think is like fairly interesting in terms of finding things like Pulse Sisters and other targets. There you go, yeah. Going to call straight to back row. Want to play around that damage denial. Oh, certainly going to be going for those names. Going to be going Energy Blast 3. There you go. And he's going to say, he's going to draw a card. And at the end of the battle, he's going to get to bounce a Franchet off of the Ace unit. Actually, that's a clear 15. Yeah, so each one of these is a 10k shield, which, again, flashback to last year, is just not that common in Standard. Dago's going to take the first damage. Unfortunately, really unfortunately, that's not going to be a defensive. Going to go 1 to pass, or OT pass, shows him the Artisan. Is that? No. Well, I imagine, am I seeing things? Oh no, that's saucy. Now that is saucy. We got to see the Artisaria coming out. So Matt is playing an Artisaria Kairi hybrid here. Very, very interesting. So he's going to be playing a mix of locking and bouncing. That's actually so cool. Wait, what? Hello? Wait, that's actually sick. Yeah, going to show us Sky the grade 1, riding the grade 2. Yep, Counterblast 1, top 7 for a differently named. Oh, with a unit with a different name than your Vanguard is a grade 3. Unfortunately, that's going to be a whiff, so yeah, we're just going to countercharge here. And just kind of keep swinging, honestly. You want to try and get Kairi up as high as possible, because you want to give them as little leeway in the future to take damage and hit those defensives. I just want to shut them down before they're ever able to really pick up any speed. going to be first check. Yeah. But again, happy to send him to 260, and it's going to be 10k shield. Does Matt have it? Nope. Says no god. Takes it. Ooh, unfortunately for it, that is a heal. And Matt's going to continue to ride into his Grade 3. I wonder what he's going to pick. Yeah, this guy's his ride deck of choice is going to be the Kyrie. And the really neat thing is for, again, a lot of people, again, we've missed so much in these past couple seasons just it being the off seasons and between the Oracle Cups. But one of the interesting things with the new Kyrie is we've had this trend of sort of hitting several cards back to back, of sort of mixing their Grade 4 and Grade 3 forms together. So we don't get to see too often, actually. But, oh, let me just pull the thing up properly. Yeah, so it's basically saying if your opponent's Grade 3 or Grade 2, your front row gains 5k. And on attack, you choose up to 2 of your rear guards and bounce them to the hand. And you can counter +1 and choose up to 2 cards from your hand, call them to separate rear guards. And if they're your opponent's Grade 3 or Grade 2, you also get a drive. So it's sort of like you get to bounce, call, which is like what your old one couldn't do, but you're kind of copying the Grade 4 when you also get to triple drive if they're Grade 3. But you get to bounce the pound spot for free. And the thing is, when you choose one of your rear guards and return them to the hand at the end of turn, and if you persona, you choose 2 instead. So you're kind of constantly bouncing cards and kind of getting to circumvent the fact that you're committing a lot of board. And yeah, he's just going on the offensive here. And then he's going to swing Vanguard. Going to bounce 2, going to counter the last 1. And then commit 2 cards. There you go, and that's going to be as well. So, we were talking earlier about Artisaria. He shows the Artisarian hand, and he gets to generate a Shadow Army token. Yeah, that's just going to be a 13k swing. 30k base on the friendship column is certainly nothing to scoff at here. Strike blank, second check blank. That's so unfortunate. But bonus checking is Sakie. Ooh, suddenly know how I want this game to go for you. Especially if you're not, this is, as the kids would say, un-Fortnite. Very, very unfortunate. And yeah, that's a crit, but it might just be too little too late, you know? Yeah, it's going to pass turn on 2 damage into Una's 4. That's certainly going on the offensive here. Yeah, and then they're going to ride Shiranui and proceed to stride. There we go. Unfortunately, we're going to be restarting the stream there. And we've been having a little bit of technical difficulties, so again, apologies to everybody. We're trying our best to get this sorted. So yeah, my apologies there, guys. Sorry, we're having a little bit of technical difficulties, but fear not, if you're watching this on YouTube, this is all going to be recorded without the difficulties, so again, please bear with us. Let's see how we're doing here. So he's showing us the Magentembu immediately swings, and yeah, Matt is just out here trying to survive. But the question is he going to be able to? Because, yeah, shows the CB, flips. Goes, yeah, I'm going to need that Shadow Army token, buddy. Because, yeah, I guess Anurin's head now goes, okay, if he's got Altsari units, maybe he's got some extra resources sitting on those cards, so maybe it's best to clear things out before it rolls out of control. Goes no guard, first check, that's a front. We know how scary fronts can be. Second check. That's a critical trigger. Power to the other rear guard, and third check. Oi, oi, oi. That's going to be a blue OT. So front, crit, blue OT. That's what looks like a front back to hand. Gets to draw a card off of it. Crit to the Vanguard, 100 million to the rear guard here. And yeah, judging by what we seem to be hearing out of bat here, it might just be... Oh, two can play that game, baby. That's a defensive as well. Third check. That's a PG. But again, huge on the blue OT here. Yeah. Just costs 15k shield. Damn, damn, damn. Wow, wow, wow. A little bit of a diabolical turn of events, if you will. Thank you guys again. I would like to apologize to everybody for the technical difficulties. Unintended side effects, unfortunately. It's sometimes the locations aren't ideal in terms of internet. Because because we're not dropping any frames. It's just it's literally a matter of a function of being on Wi-Fi. So again, apologies. And I know people said that time for this, so I do apologize. We'll try and get this fixed, but the VODs will be up without any of the lag. It's recorded locally, so that shouldn't be an issue if this does become a problem throughout the day. But thank you everybody for coming back as we go into Matt's counterattack. And we'll see what he's really made of here. Yeah, Matt's going to go straight into that battle phase. Yeah, first swing 30k. And let's see what Zona's answer is. Because the thing is, Zona's on 4, so he can't really be taking things willy-nilly. He's going to have to really start thinking about how he's going to play this turn out. Yep, shows the front. Yeah, then followed up a 45k swing. Vanguard will be 41k as well. We can be hearing that here. Again, reading his numbers out too, and these are looking increasingly scary. Onus has no guard, and the faithful shall be rewarded. Checks a critical trigger, goes to 23k base, and honestly, that might just be his ticket out of here. Again, both players, I know I'm going to say currently undefeated, but I know it is only round 2. So we'll see how that continues. But at the moment, they're doing absolutely phenomenally here. Again, it's really interesting seeing a lot of kind of fresh life breathed into these decks that have kind of generally been considered to be, let's call it left by the wayside. No, these aren't Heart Larue, these aren't Peak Mavsagra, but these are decks that sort of like keep refusing to die, and really, really cool seeing them constantly keep popping up and putting in the work.
Players, 15 minutes.
There you go, guys. Sorry about that. You're gonna be hearing a little bit of the judges there, so I do apologize. And hopefully, let me know if this is too loud or too quiet. We're trying to speak quieter, but be closer to the mic, so I'm not quite sure how you guys are hearing this. So any feedback on that front would be greatly appreciated. First trigger. Oh, that's a front trigger. Again, I think the theme of this season, that's going to be double front. That's absolutely diabolical. Third check. Nothing at all, but double front is diabolical, and that's going to be game with Matt taking the game and us going into the end of round 2. Absolutely phenomenal game with Matt clutching it out at the end. Really, really strong showing. Incredible showing out of Kyrie here. And guys, stay tuned. We'll be back in just a couple of minutes. I'm going to be probably trying to get the next round of range, then we'll be back. Because I know there's quite a bit to go. So we'll be gone for 2-3 minutes. I'll be right back. And in about 10 to 15 minutes, we'll be coming back with round 3. So don't go anywhere. Or get a coffee, go to the bathroom, do what you gotta do. We'll try and get a bit of the network issues sorted, but we'll do our best. So guys, stay safe, and we'll be back in just a few minutes. We'll see you then. Take care, guys. All right, guys, and welcome back to BCS Italy. Round 3 is just about to start, and we've got kind of one of the interesting matchups for this format that I've been really looking forward to doing, and thankfully there's just a critical mass of Heartlurus in the room to where we just get to do it. So that'd be pretty cool. So I'm going to stay a little silent until everything comes online. Oh. There we go. We're going to transition that over. It's going to be one of the fairly fun. So let's quickly transition that over. And we're going to get to see exactly what's happening. Yeah, just the players just discussing, having a little friendly chat, you know. I think for one, this is one of the more interesting matchups, but we'll see how this goes.
Okay, players, so at the end of this round, we will be starting our side events.
There you go, yeah,
You
so
have drawn, and only
so there you go, just
have
announcement
drawn.
for the side events going on
You
here.
can register here in the judge table for the side event polls with the side event promos. Now, if everyone is ready, and they should be, we're gonna start the round.
There we go. And we're going to stand up the Vanguard.
Okay, so this is round 3. You have 30 minutes. Stand up.
There you go. Let's move that around. Let's try and hold the microphone a little bit closer here and see if we can just about make this work. So, of course, we're going to be looking at arguably the best deck in the format right now with Heartluru versus a deck that seems to be tailor-made to beating it with Katana World from Cardfight. Oh, there you go. Peter's just announcing that he is raising the flag and becoming a buddy fighter for this turn. Oh, for this game. Sorry, this game. So, again, for those of you who maybe don't know, when you play a buddy fight deck, you actually don't have access to energy at all. That's because you can only have one right deck crest, and the buddy fight crest takes that place for you. So what the starters say is at the start of the game, you must say raise the flag, and then you become a buddy fighter, and you put a buddy monster into the order zone, which is what you see up there now on Pete's side. And then when you ride your grade 1, you're going to generate gauge, and every turn you can gauge or charge and draw, or you put a card from your hand as gauge and then cycle it. So you just draw one card. Mineralogy Stand is going to be showing us the standard Heartluru TM. Rides grade 1, searches toys, plays the toys, top 5, presumably finds 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 1 and 2, there we go. That's going to be the... I keep thinking it's a dragon, but I think it's a horse, isn't it? The 10k intercept. And a Blavilos. There you go, horse to hand. Blavilos into the soul. Very, very strong. Meanwhile, Pete, there you go, gets discard, rides his grade 1. And you're right, he gets the Buddy Crest. Yep, gauge top 2. So, of course, on the first turn, you don't get to charge and draw, but in every subsequent turn, he will be able to. There you go, you can see one of the most convoluted order zone placements in all of Vanguard. And he generates the token. So, of course, for those of you who, again, haven't been playing too much, basically Pete is then able to gauge things into that Ninja Scrolls, and then play it as a blitz order from there for the cost of a gauge later on. So you can, for example, put things in there, and then on his opponent's turn, trigger those effects traditionally. What you're looking to be triggering is one of the Buddy Fight orders, which will show up when it comes up, which effectively stops your opponent restanding. Or, alternatively, when your opponent hits a 15k shield, and if the attacking unit is your opponent's Vanguard, you also draw a card. That's good. First check, blue OT. So it's going to check, he's going to draw, he's going to get a crit, he's going to add the order back into hand. Yeah, and Logistan's going to take just double Philia into damage. Very, very rough, but interesting seeing Logistan on the Philia builds, because I know those have been waiting a little bit recently. So one of the things that Heartler is capable of doing is it's able to run builds that primarily focus on Avarice Resta, and the purpose of those builds is in order to be able to less than win war, eliminate a lose condition in the form of not seeing your fourth order. And Philly is just a slightly alternate build which is more aggressively focused. So suddenly, if you're already leaning that way, getting two of them hitting damage instantly is very, very punishing and unfortunate for Longstan's kind of position in the game at the moment. There you go, it's going to be calling the bunny, and the bunny's going to be top 3, put anything into soul. So whereas your order has to be Happy Toys, this is just anything into soul. So especially in the late game, while your Happy Toys are gone, it's your most efficient way of thinning at that stage. 1, 2, 3, and that's going to be one thing into the soul. But doesn't sound like an easy decision here. And there we go, we all have choices to make, and Logistan just made his. Proceeds to call a second bunny. He's just, you know, some people just want it more. Oh, is that Folklore? Very interesting. Very, very interesting, actually, because you don't get to see Folklore very often. But again, for those of you who haven't been around for a while, Folklore, of course, letting us energy charge one place from hand, and at the end of the battle it boosted. If you energy blast 3 or more this turn, which of course Haru does in the main phase, you're then able to retire it to draw a card. So pretty interesting card that you don't get to see too often. But certainly one that I'm interested in seeing how it develops in Haru into the future. It says no god. That's going to be a dragon. Yeah. There you go. Pete Gage will want to draw one. Again, being able to gauge like the weakest card in your hand in order to make that gap up is really, really powerful. And there you go. Pete pays a gauge to cycle one. Oh, not cycle rather, but gauge one under his Ninja Scroll. His head is full. Searches your deck for any card. You choose under it, then basically when your opponent would play in main phase of that, after all the orders resolve that, he can then remove the gauge and retire it if it's the same grade. So a little bit of prediction coming up here, but of course it's hard to lose, so Pete's always going to be choosing a grade 2 here in order to start sabotaging things like Blavilos, the restanding bear, as well as the shark that is presumably going to be coming out next turn. On top of that, you also have access to an order in Katana World, which I don't believe I think we might have seen go to drop, but not really resolve fully, which allows you to stop your opponent restanding. So again, this is one of those things that makes this a very, very difficult matchup for Hardloru, because you force them to commit a lot of resources and then punish them for doing so, or kind of shut them down before they're really able to get going. So you kind of get to choke them out of the tempo that really makes that deck as scary as it is. Oh, and also, importantly, many of the grade 2 rear guards in Katana World also stop your opponent intercepting. So despite them swinging for, your 15s, your 18s, your 20s, even as far as 28s, your opponent just can't intercept. So no grade 2s, no dragons or horses, which means all that shield has to come from your hand, or you're just taking pokes for almost no reason effectively. So really, really difficult matchup, especially if you are the Hardloru player.
Du doch wirklich fast. Ich wollte nur auf den Drive check hat. Free of it, take it.
And the interesting thing for Hardloru as well is turns sort of deceptively look similar until you kind of get going from there, and then you realize that actually against Katana World especially, you kind of have to keep trying to bait the pops. Because, for example, he makes Blade Velocity, right? He can counterblast one to draw, that's fine, but then Pete can just pop it, right? So you want to eventually make sure you have something after Pete is all well and done. So you go CB1, Pete goes, yeah, that's a cool story. Anyway, pops it. But importantly, Logizan does get a draw off of that. Like, there's one thing we don't do, and what we don't do is we don't negate here. Yeah, that looks like a Hardloru on the Rayguard cycle. That's very unfortunate. Oh no, is that a Hardloru? It's hard to know if that's a Hardloru or a bear. Unfortunately, the glare is a little bit too difficult there to make it out through, at least for me. There you go. So, for example, yeah, there you go. So you're just going to be gauging and drawing. And guards it.
So I can't take with 21 to you, and I'm gonna reset at the same time. Attack.
There you go. Pete stopped the battle low there. Unfortunately, that's only going to be a triple drive. That's a red OT. That's really good. That's really good. That's a really good time for Pete to see that OT coming out. There you go. Pete dropping to his knees in prayer. Checks the second front. Hilda doesn't resolve. Pete goes, that's not an issue, man. Not a problem at all. Go right ahead. Straight to fall.
I'm happy I killed the baby. That would have been worse. I would try to do it. Was really cool. Right line effect top 5 for Ninja and Ninja Odds. I will OT's out as well, so I can
Yeah, and the fact that Pete can, like, guarantee that the OT is out now, it's actually really cool that he can now start playing going forward, like, for predictable numbers. So he can't be jump scared by a random overtrigger, so he can play a much more calculated resource game and a much more calculated grind game, which, surprisingly enough, Katana World is very capable of doing, very adept.
then because I'm a buddy fighter, I use my buddy tool.
There you go, and Peter's going to ride his grade 3 and buddy call. When he buddy calls, he countercharges 1 and searches deck for any 2 ninjas.
That's a 1 thing.
Pete hitting us with the humana special technique that has brought him to 2-1 for generations. We'll see if it holds true today. There you go, starts moving bits around, and of course one of the pieces he's going to be searching out here is going to be, I'm gonna keep, thing is the issue is there's Byakuya and Tsukikage, and I keep getting them mixed up. I believe it's Kaguya at the moment that's on the board, or Byakuya, sorry, my bad. And what our effect here is they have Shadow Dive, which is during the battle attack your opponent cannot intercept, like we said earlier. And when your grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Zanya attacks, you can discard a card to stand this. And when it attacks a grade 3 or greater unit, and you have it in regard with Tsukikage or Gojimaru, and it's counting this gains plus 5k. So yeah, that's how you're starting to make kind of like the 15 numbers to really start poking your opponent out, especially when they can't intercept.
That card gets on attack gets 5, and the cards, not 1 to touch. So this is going to be 10, and they all have Shadow Dive, which basically you can't intercept during that battle. So it's 15 no yeah, so when my Vanguard touches, it's got 1.
There you go, just explaining Shadow Dive to his opponent just now. He goes no god, goes to 3. 20 no intercepts, again. Asking for those 15k shields, but that would be overguarding. Yeah, I guess we discard 1, restand. 13, this one he can intercept, and again, try to bait the Logisem to do it. Because if he shows him 2, that's going to be a 2 to pass. And, you know, sometimes that's enough. Taking another 2 to pass. First check. Oi. Absolutely terrifying. That's the thing. We're just seeing the power of fronts today. It's interesting seeing how the game sort of adapted into more and more decks running fronts, just as like a means of beating over decks that have quote-unquote higher deck quality. So the fact that he's able to kind of, well, amongst other things, guard like his life depends on it, because he doesn't draw quite as much as other decks. He gets to do a lot of thinning, so you want the cards that you drive check to really matter. So a lot of these fronts are actually really, really flexible. There you go, and he's going to be resolving a Soul Guard ability in front of his opponent. So for those of you unaware, what Soul Guard basically says when a card would leave the rearguard circle, you are able to blast one of its buddy soul, so the unit's under it. And if you did, the card doesn't leave, and you have to try and do it again. So for example, if a unit has 2 buddy soul, a prison player would have to try and remove it 3 times before it finally goes to prison, which actually makes this deck a surprisingly terrible matchup for prison, which is, like we said earlier, coming out next week. So watch this space if prison starts picking up too much steam in your local area. Yeah, longest time's going, nah, man. I'm gonna need that stuff in my life. Yeah, the super unfortunate thing as well there is that that ball's actually kind of set from the back row because that is a certified back right ability. Yeah, the block horse is a card that unfortunately isn't doing a staggering amount at this stage in the game, especially against Pete. Since Pete can't keep shutting it down, he just ends up being in that too little too late sort of situation. Because of course, yeah, there's a lot of new archetypes came out since our last BCS season, so can get to experience a lot of these for if not the first time, then fairly early on in our familiarity with them. Because yeah, again, this is I think today is by far the most represented deck. Like, I don't think it's even close. If I can tell from memory, I think today has out of 160 people, north of 30 Heart Lurus. Yeah, I think today's is Vase Ruger and just Heart Luru on Heart Luru on Heart Luru. Sorry, 27 Heart Lurus, my apologies. Yeah, but all the while, Pete is just not letting up. The trouble is this matchup specifically because Pete thins so much and the Heart Luru player will be drive checking so much. There's actually a strong argument to be made that this ends up becoming a deck matchup fairly often. Which is actually really, really scary if you think about it. Because naturally, Pete is just going to be using up more of his opponent's hand than Logistan is. Crit front. That's a PG. Pass turn on 4 damage. 2 cards in. Oh, it looks like what? 6 cards in hand? Yep, he's just gonna get to go on the offensive and just pray that what he has is enough. Actually, for those of you that can't quite make it out, one of the most interesting cards in this matchup actually is actually from a really surprising sort of fella in Pete's deck. It's genuinely, it's going to be RSD here because one of the things he facilitates in this deck is when it's placed on Ray Guard, you can pay a gauge. You choose up to 1 Nanomachine Byakuya SD from your drop and call it to a Ray Guard cycle. And then you can choose one of your Ninja Ray Guards. If that unit's Buddy Soul doesn't have a card with this name, you put it into the Buddy Soul. And then if your opponent's Vanguard is Grade 3 or greater, the unit with this card and its Buddy Soul gains 5k power, 5k shield. So he basically has the ability of turning your whole deck into 10k intercepts and into, well, plus 5k, so your boosters become 13, your attackers become 15. So you're looking at 28/38 for every swing. And with your things like your Byakuya restanding, again, with no intercepts, your opponent's very quickly going to run out of hand, And it's just these little interactions that really edge these kinds of decks out. And on top of that, we've also got cards like the... sorry. The Tsukikage ends up calling out a Byakuya, which we've got those too. Because continuously, when it's attacked, your opponent can't intercept. It's like on a grade 1. And when this unit attacks or boosts, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, and you have a Ray Guard with Tsukikage or Gonjimaru in its card name, this gains plus 5k. So this becomes an 18k booster, which is really, really important. So again, the number now becomes 33. So these things are really, really challenging to contend with when you're all going from hand, because 33 is a magic number. That's a trigger and a 10k. But again, 10ks just aren't that common, which means oftentimes it's 3 cards or 2 triggers from hand for what is otherwise just a 20k guard, which is how your opponent ends up in really awkward positions where they can't really capitalize on their advantage, but they also can't really punish you that aggressively, which means you have these games where you just slowly fall behind until the Katana World player is able to cut you down. But that's the thing, right? Because I think one of the most interesting parts in recent Vanguard is the way that a lot of these Stridexes have been manufactured. But yeah, again, and like that, the game ends. And I'd like to congratulate you. And what we're going to do is we're going to take a tiny little break here. We're going to try, we're going to try and figure the transitions out. Sorry, we have to really whisper into this during the rounds, because we can't spin it around for you, but there is literally a fabric cloth and then the featured match table. So obviously now the game's over, we can speak up at full volume. In fact, I'll do you one where I can stop ASMRing this for you, and we can just hold it normally. And so guys, don't go anywhere. We'll be back very, very soon with round 4. Let's try and get somebody picked out for you. You might find interesting. I've seen a couple in the crowd who I would love to show to you. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stay safe, take care, and I'll see you in just a few minutes for round 4. Don't go anywhere, guys. Be right back. Welcome back, everybody. This is round 4 of BCS Italy coming right up. I've got a really interesting matchup for you. I've got Nuno, the former world champion, on Vaisruga, facing up against Tom on Youthbug, actually. So we're going to be transitioning. The players are just going to be deciding who's going to be going first, who's going to be going second, and who's going to be continuing their win streak. I believe these players are either XO or X1, so actually doing very, very well for themselves. Again, Nuno, called a master of his craft, been at this for quite a while, as opposed to Tom, who's sitting in front of us with a very seldom seen deck in Youthbug Rebuild. So again, the most recent Youthbug variant that came out in set 8, and been starting to take names in Japan, but we haven't quite gotten that far yet in the English format. Really, really interested to see how this pans out, as 2 of my favorite current standard decks going to face off against each other. We'll see what lies ahead. Because the interesting thing for us is, for example, in things like Vienna, the tournament was what felt like a lot more diverse, I should say. So a lot of Vienna had a lot of Heartlarus, a lot of Minervas. Actually, not very few Minervas today here at all, which is actually very strange to see. This tournament is certainly dominated by Vaisruga and Heartlaru. But I think that's kind of what you'd expect at this stage, especially with set 12 or set 11 coming up next week. Of course, stay tuned for Spain in 3 weeks. That is going to be the first event where that set is legal, at least for Europe. There you go, and that's going to be a Youthbug player going first, hitting the grade 1. And next time he rides up, he's going to be able to Energy Blast 3 and top 5 and add 1 to his hand. So the thing as well is, when Youthbug is able to find his Revel form exist, he's going to be able to, on attack, at the end of battle rather, Revel Dress into it, and he will Energy Blast 3 to restand a front row and give your front row plus 10k, or plus 20 if there is a Revel form in bind, and if there is an existent bind, he also gains a critical. So it's a bit of a different take on Youthbug, not necessarily better or worse, just trying to take Youthbug in a slightly new direction. And we'll see if the Trial of the Moon is able to stop that. There you go, and he's going to be showing his opponent the face Ruger, proceeding to search the deck for the moon. And unfortunately, since that moon did not come from hand, there's not going to be a draw here, but he is going to draw for going second. There you go, and he's going to show me the I believe it's half grid, which is going to go top 5 for either a Lunarite order or a Vase Ruger himself. There you go, Nuno getting his Bond, James Bond moment. And yeah, the thing is, this is just able to aggro so hard. There you go, just able to do that again. Finds the Vase Ruger this time. Ooh, that's going to be the first Minerva order. 8k Van, that's going to be a draw trigger. Is there a defensive? There is no defensive. That's a Persona Right cycle. That's a 15k shield out of hand. And Youthbug's going to have to take it. Yep, unfortunate defensive there. But going to 3 this early might spell the end, especially when a deck like Vase Ruger is really able to pile on that pressure early, compared to then not let up. Your opponent being on 3 this early is a little scary for the Youthbug player. You know, Tom here is might just be a little bit on the back foot, but we'll see if he's able to draw that back. If our new Solitary Knight can get on top. So yeah, when he's rides a Grade 2, he's going to energy blast. He's going to be able to, I think it's energy blast or Soul Blast 1 for top 5, and either call a Grade 2 list to hand or add a Revel Form to his hand. One, two, three, 4, and 5. He's going to call Selgion here. Yeah, of course, as we saw the Wisdom earlier, we know this man is on the Catapile, so it'd be very unusual to not see Selgion after seeing everything else that's going to come with it. There you go, that's the order coming out. Cannabis 1. Oh, thinking on Cannabis 1. There we go, Cannabis 1. Draw 2, call 2. Wonder how many T-faults he's able to see here. Crit and Saigon, that is an unfortunate turn of events. That's going to be 23, that's a crit. PG and a heal. Heal does not go off, but maybe, just maybe, it's enough. 28. So I'm going to go top 2, add 1 to hand, 1 to the bottom of the deck. That was a pretty quick decision. There you go. So Nuno is now riding the Grade 2 for Vase Ruger, which is top 7. So normally you will be able to Soul Blast 2 or Energy Blast 3 and rest the Moongate to go top 7, call up to 1 and put up to 2 Mythish, or choose up to 3 Mythish, call up to 1 of them to hand, and the rest go to the Order Zone, go to the Moon Base. But your Grade 2 right then is top 7 for 2, 1 to Moon, 1 to hand, which is often actually not where you get to send them. So such something to remember if you're going to be trying to pick up Vase Ruger after seeing this. Because in my opinion, it's one of my favorite aesthetics in Ranked at the moment. I really like the way those units look. There you go. Yeah, things with both of them being on kind of covering the 3 damage range, it's like a pretty good place to be in, especially if you're Vaisruga, because as you start thinning more, you're going to be attacking kind of 5 attacks a turn, which is nothing to scoff at, especially for a deck like Youthbug that has a bit of a hard time building up its hand. So getting multiple attacks that are just beyond the 1 card to guard might just prove a little bit too much, but Youthbug also has really explosive turns. It can really generate big numbers out of nowhere. It can be really, really scary to contend with. There we go. And like, for example, now we're getting to see a bit of the Dekakun coming out, which, again, is one of the, quote, slightly funny attacks that we've seen in recent months. Because the thing with the Dekakun is from the Koro collab set. It's basically, it's a Teeth Fault reprint. It's just Teeth Fault. Which is, I just think it's a funny looking design, a funny little guy, a funny fella. You know, maybe a little too late, but nonetheless, card you're always happy to see at this stage. Oh my god, another one. Oh my goodness, that's another one. Yeah, just for me to know that despite the fact you can call it because it's called by card's ability, by unit's ability, this T-Fault isn't proccing, but, you know, a man can dream. That's a 2 to pass. That's first check, nothing. Second check, that's a front. Ooh. Of course, getting to Counterblast 1 and Revel Dress. Breaking the rock into Youthbug. Revel Form exist on attack, on a place, or rather, Energy Blast 3, standard front row, 10k to front row. He wish that is filled. So currently that's looking to be a what, 15, 25, 38 column in the Vanguard. It's going to be discard 1 for a drive. So 38 1 drive, and that's going to be, that's just the Corian, unfortunately. That's an OT coming out. Yeah, it's going to be T-Fault swinging into the Ray Gods. Then he passed on. That's so unfortunate. Like, even beyond the extent to which, you know, it turns off your OT turns it off, it just turns off all of your offense and all your pressure. So despite the fact he checked fronts and he got 2 T-Faults, which, again, hit not insignificant numbers, the onus kind of becomes on Tom now to find a persona right for next turn. Because I feel like if he doesn't, he's really, really struggling, right? But if he is, he can like maybe just about crawl this back. But it feels like a really bad position to be in right now.
So this would be 33. Your faithful and this for 33.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, it looks like it. Yeah, unfortunately, looking like a 2 to pass. Yeah, just swinging to the Ray Gods, just having to take it. Such a difficult place to be in. They are showing us the percentage shield as well. Yeah, the thing with Vaisruga is like it's just able to manifest so much compression because of the moon gates. And just the fact that it can have a resist on the board on top of like, getting 5 attacks and a lot of thinning. It's just so strong because your orders just make your numbers borderline unguardable. Yeah, Texas goes straight to 5, but you know, you think he lets out, but if Nuno shows up a Sunrise next turn, he's in a tough position. Because the thing is, when that snake comes from the back row and it has resist, it means what often happens is you will intercept with the unit in front of it and then just move it up next turn, right? Meanwhile, you know, even if by some reason, like Tom decides to completely damage an Nuno here, the thing with Vaisruga is, so say he swings front rows, right? He just calls anything with the Halbrand, he counter charges 1, and the Vanguard attacks 3 times. Oh, it attacks 4 times anyway. So it's like it's really difficult to deny this deck in a meaningful way. Prison sometimes can because your soul can run a little thin, but it's increasingly difficult to play in the new format. I think you just kind of have to pray for a miracle run and just dodge every prison player and just hope it's enough.
Sorry, 15 minutes.
There you go, that sounds better. There you go, Nuno is trying to continuously thin with his Moongate, seeing just how far he can take it before he has to resume the battle phase. Yeah, they was 50 over the 2 crits. Nuno's looking at it. He goes, I don't know about this one, Chief. And it might just be crit for game. What if I said you had 1 shot, 1 opportunity? Would you take it? Man, just about trying to. Issue the persona, that's 30k. Yeah, it's like all this for a 5k pass is 1 pass. Does he do it? That's a front trigger. Yeah, that's unfortunate. Oh, never mind. It wasn't 1 pass. My bad. My bad. My bad. Me when I lie. Yeah, but apologies again. I know the Wi-Fi has been a bit trippy, so a lot of the footage can be a bit staticky, but thankfully we're not experiencing that locally, so we'll be able to upload the high-definition clips throughout the week. So if you're having a bit of trouble seeing this, do stay tuned. We're going to have the full VODs up, again, as I said, throughout the week in glorious high definition. That's one of the things Youthbike struggles with that I'm surprised he's... Actually, I suppose impressed, more being all the correct term, that he survived this long is because Youthbike can have a really hard time generating hand, you can find that decks like Vaser would just out-pressure it over time. And while you can clearly see the Youthbike is struggling, you can also see Nuno kind of fighting for his life here. Like last turn was a close call. You're already swinging 48, and unfortunately, Youthbike is on 5. This is, he can't really afford to toy around here too much. That's a 33. Needs another front. Crit and intercept. Yep, that'll do it. That would do it. Swing on the Vanguard. Call Fox plus. That's going to be a 43. Into that, it's 35k shield for a 1 pass, 45k shield for a 2 pass, and 55 for not at all. That's 2 pass. Yeah, he's thinking about the extra 5. He needs the 5 more. Without another 5, this is just a normal 2 to pass. But it would appear that Tom's hand is running a little bit thin. He has to overguard that a little bit. Elementary, ditch front. And then a PG 1 card hand. Yeah. And with both players on 5, your turn really does depend on the quality of your hand here. Because the trouble is, a lot of people have been running the restand heals, but those only work against the thing that Youthbike restands. Because he himself rides into a new grade 3, so he's not actually restanding. So those heals are actually less efficient into Youthbike than they are into most other decks. But I don't know if that matters when you're able to manifest like 30k front rows. Or plus 30k front rows. It almost just proved to be a little bit too overwhelming, even at plus 20. So I think this is only going to be the determining time for the game. Either Tom wins here and now, or Nuno's able to try and take it till next turn and seal it that way. Yeah, so he's going for the 18 there. Yeah, 13 even. You're swinging.
No, that's really bad. That's
You got the players are just thinking. I think Nuno said thinking, and someone thought he said take it. So yeah, I said PG. That's going to be a heal. That's so big. That's actually massive for Tom. Just the ability to be able to just take 1 damage somewhere in that. I don't think it matters on a 3-card hand, but it does alleviate a lot of pressure mentally, I think. There you go, yeah, it's going to be a Kirby standing plus 20k front row. There you go, yeah, show us another PG. First check. Yeah. Oh, double heal there is rough. Yeah, so the interesting is because we seem to be able to see 2 heals in his hand. I think there's almost nothing that could stop Tom there from living that turn. Or from killing that turn. Because, yeah, for that you would need that swing to be, what, 63 and above? Which I just don't think Tom's deck is manifesting on a crit on Rayguard. Maybe next turn, though. If he survives, but I suspect that without that heal, he definitely died. With that heal, maybe with a lucky heal, we might be able to live through this. They go finding 3 more pieces, going Soul Blast 2. They're going to be going top 7 for... How much are we going to find here? Is it going to be enough? Just a snake, nothing else. Yeah, that's one of the issues Vaestro can often have, is later on in the game, it's increasingly difficult to actually find your pieces because, well, you've seen them already, right? Yep, 43 and counter charge 1. Swing Vanguard. There you go, snake plus crow. No guard. Crit. Crit. There we go. And that's going to be game. 2 pieces going to damage, and that's just going to be it for Nuno. Again, fantastic performance. Insane card. Again, this is what we call the world champ diff. Again, for those who don't know, Nuno was our the world champion on Luque back in 2019. And he's been showing a lot of dominance in standard as well. Hasn't won a BCS in quite a while, but consistently topping, consistently doing well on well, in this case, a pretty meta deck. He's on Dayusha in last year's set 4 meta. And a lot of off-center little cool lists. Big fan of Narukami. A great player. So guys, don't go anywhere. Stay safe. It'll be just a few minutes as we prepare round 5 for you. Spoiler alert, there's going to be a pretty cool buff saga around. So don't go anywhere. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Take care, guys. All right, guys, welcome back to Vienna. Oh, Italy. Sorry, not Vienna. My bad. There you go. Players are just hanging out. I'm going to be starting out. I'm just going to be... I know we got the wrong nation on the bottom player on the card scheme, but we're going to be fixing that momentarily. Do bear with us just a second. We'll be right back with that part. But, yeah, so we're just having some technical difficulties, but we're resetting now, so hold on with us. But the players should now be good to go and get started on round 5 of BCS Milan. Again, fantastic performance out of the players so far. And here we have an X1 Heartlaru versus an XO of Sagara. So not something you see every day here, especially with Heartlaru going first here. You know, I was almost tripped out. I saw the trick moon sleeves. I was like, damn, milled on turn 0? That's crazy. Like, what a good player. No, it's certainly one of the more interesting lists we've been seeing recently. So, especially for Raito, you know, Matt's been on buff Sakura for months and months and months, and really does love the deck. So, you know, no matter how much the deck gets hit, some people will just kind of keep pushing through with it. So, knowing that he's going to be able to search his both of his weapons on turn 1 is actually really impactful. So, one of the things we're looking forward to is I know we've got the new Shenri support, the new Shenri clone that came out in set 10. The buff Sagura has been kind of on and off playing. We've been seeing a lot of, I believe it's Shada, her name is, the Blaze Maiden that can mill Trick Moon to eliminate the fact that it hits now at 1, as well as the fact that obviously Cindy has kind of bumped itself up to 4 now. So a lot of thinning going on, and this list is on a little spicy tech card that I'm hoping to get to show you later on when it appears. But spoiler alert, you haven't seen it in quite a while in buff Sagura decks. And today we're going to find out that maybe those people have been wrong this whole time. But yeah, a lot of aggression coming out of Osaka, checking a crit trigger and going for the 18. And yeah, and Denzel goes, nah man, I ain't going to 3 this early. Ain't no way. Won't catch me like that. Yeah, gonna show us the immediate Tizcar. Really nice. Immediately gonna search out the Happy Toys. Reveals the Heartlaru, such as another. Toys are made for children. And then he's going to continue to Energy Plus 3 and draw a card for the Tizcar. Again, Heartlaru is a deck that doesn't run very many Tizcars, if at all, but if it's able to capitalize on those early, oh boy, are you in for a good time. And there you go, yeah. So we're talking about this earlier. So with the average espresso kind of negating a lose condition for the deck, we've been seeing this come up more and more and more. So, the Denso is able to search something, and now he's going to do this here, so that in a couple turns when he needs to, he's got a free discard fodder for next turn, off of the order that he searched on the Grade 2 ride. And then, realistically, he's just able to ditch it for free right now, so he gets a deck thin 1, then deck thin off of the order, and basically guarantee his 4 orders now, which is certainly a good position to be in if you're Heart Luru. Because, yeah, like the thing is, obviously, there's a lot of discourse about kind of how standard and premium are different from each other. And I'm of the opinion that there's just very different skill sets. So, for example, in standard, if you're looking at even modern standard, you oftentimes tend to find that it's a lot more about like min-maxing and small decisions and like eliminating fail conditions. So a lot of time in premium, you'll hear things people talk about ceilings, and given you're uninterrupted, what's like the most your deck can do, and how much can you really blow through people's defenses. But in standard, a lot of decks are at similar-ish power levels. They just do slightly different things, and their approach to winning the game can be a bit different. But they just have different lose conditions with different severities. So a lot of the skill expression and sort of deck design or like deck building mindset that goes into it is about mitigating those drawbacks. So, for example, with Heart Luru, knowing that if you don't hit that 4th order, you probably lose the game or have a much harder time to playing through it, people just start opting running more Avis Resters. Obviously, as a baseline, your ceiling does get lowered from it, but being able to do what you need to do every time you need to do it, there's something to be said for that. Going completely off topic, I actually love the new buff Sagra's design so much. It looks so good. Like, just something about it just looks good. Yeah, seems so 5 pass, and that's going to be Elementaria. Yep, sounds good, brother. Solid rocks, brother. And he's going to swing straight into the Ray Guard and just pass turn. Knowing that, Heart Luru is going to be able to recoup that board, but it can't just yet. So this is the opportunity where you can capitalize on that, deny them the front row, force them to commit a big hand, not quite be able to make up for it because, well, extra heavy damage deny that means they don't really have all the CB in the world, although in this case he does have enough to do what he needs. But being forced to call things from your hand means that you are more likely to not be able to guard the buff Saga or clapback afterwards, which is, I think, what Right here is trying to set up for his opponent. Yeah, again, we do apologize for the sort of display at the moment. It's the Wi-Fi bitrate is very, very unstable at the moment, unfortunately. So again, we do apologize, but know that the VODs will be up this week. So please stay tuned and look forward to that. Yeah, there we go with the Halteru building his board. Moving to battle phase, and it's got the Shark there, but with the bear, unfortunately, that Shark isn't going to be doing a whole lot of restanding. So he's going to go for the 15 Vanguard swing. Buff Saga is thinking about it, because if you check a defensive here, you do more or less shut it down. And it's just that easy. Not only do you check a defensive, but you check the heal. 5 foot trigger, 5 triggers for 5 triggers. Actually, like 5 checks, 5 hits. That's diabolical. Actually criminal behavior.
Oh, it's sweat.
That's a 1, that's a 2. Oh my god. Actually criminal. 7 triggers and 7 drive checks. That's crazy. Man is out here fiending, bro. Hasn't even thinned 2 on the on-ride. That's crazy.
Wait, the grade 2. The grade 2.
And there you go. And Basago is going to immediately mill the sword and show an arm. Presumably it's going to be the shield here, right? There you go. That's going to be the shield getting armed. Cards being drawn. And are we going to get the energy charge 1? Oh, he's taking on the revive. Yep, that's a Cindy. Puts the soul, adds to hand. And that's our Yugma Shard. Yugma Shard is going to Energy Blast 3. Discard a card from his hand and draw, or discard a weapon from his hand and draw 2 cards. And because his opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, he also gains plus 5k power. Shows the mace, pops the horse, very strong. Because mace, one of those cards that like didn't really come up much when the deck initially came out, but as tournaments went on, it's really starting to find its place. Because you used to run it because it was like a no CB arm, but now it's a back row pop in a format that really cares about that. So all of a sudden, it becomes really important to be able to have those kinds of cards. You know, yeah, gets a crit, pops 2. Just that easy. So like even there, that unit is going to be swinging for 36k. Yeah, it's going to be an arm as well. EB3. That's another Yugma Shard. Absolutely diabolical. Actually incredible. So each one of those Yugma Shards as well is 20k, by the way. So it's 20 in a deck that can really pump out those numbers. That's going to be a Vilelord. Yep. She does it again. Yeah, he just has it. Yeah, another sword. It's just that easy. Never mind, make him 25. Just that easy. That's what, 25, 33, 43? Takes it, yep. No defensive. That's 35. Goes, yep, that's good. Double play if you lost. Oh my goodness. Oh my god, bro. Not like this, man. Swings, yeah. He goes, yeah, you probably got this. Thinks that's a triple persona right in hand. Oh my god. Goes one pass, first check. Nothing, second check, nothing, third check. That's gonna be nothing. But does that even matter? Yeah, there you go. Accidentally drops some damage. Puts that on, hits the double CB, double restand. 35. 43 even. And 35 might just prove to be just that little bit too much. That's going to be GG. Unfortunate, but you know, sometimes as Buff Sakura, sometimes you just see everything. So guys, I'm going to have to go find you guys a matchup for round 6. 2 more rounds to go. Phenomenal top tables, actually. We got like 2 Katana World players in top cut, or in top 8 already. Oh, top 16 looking to be. I think they're like X1. I think April's doing pretty well herself. Surprisingly, lots of Lurus, the surprise of nobody. A lot of Ace Rugas, a couple of Nairos is doing really, really well. And let's not forget, apparently there's an Alfred running around as well. So don't go anywhere. We'll see what we can find for you guys in the next couple of rounds. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in just a few minutes. Take care, guys. All right, guys, and stand up. The Vanguard. At the moment, we've got a small issue. I think the screens haven't updated yet with the correct nations, so bear with us, guys. As soon as that is ready, that'll translate over, so please bear with us. We know it can be a bit of a slow process, so again, apologies, and thank you for bearing with us here. But, kicking that off, we're going straight into round 6, actually. So again, almost done with the day, or at least in terms of Swiss. But of course, don't go anyway, because we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a top 16 going on, with a lot of very interesting players. Apparently there's an undefeated Sibylt up here, so again, one of those decks that very much is putting up results at the moment. So certainly one of the scarier decks you could be facing by the looks of it. But, you know, don't let that fool you. You know, there's certainly plenty of very, very scary decks currently just casually sitting in the top tables, just out of sight. With, for example, our first Vigil of the day with Dragon King over here, facing Axel on Heart Luru. Meanwhile, on the other side of the case, I think we're going to have a... I think we're about to have Heart Luru update itself a little bit. There you go. We'll be able to pull up the correct deck list in just a moment. And then hopefully we're able to pull everything up on time for you guys. Yeah, just bear with us at the moment. It's going to be just a second on the name on the correct nation to update for Axel here. But certainly is Heart Luru here. Again, one of those interesting, because Heart Luru is going first, Vigil is always choosing to go second here. So it's a case where kind of both players get to play to their strengths. So it'll be fairly interesting, at least for me, to see how this kind of pans out going forward. There we go, just having a little bit of technical difficulties here. With any luck, we're looking to alleviate that quite a bit. There we go. Sorry guys, sorry for the delay though. We're finally back properly. Sorry, we managed to fix our nations there. Small indie company we are, by the way. But yeah, so at the moment we got obviously Vigil trying to push a bit of pressure, checking early critical. Able to push Heart Luru, but Heart Luru is suddenly clapping back here. So it's actually been really cool for me to see how a lot of the Heart Blue players have been adapting today, just because, of course, it is the most represented deck of the day by quite a bit. I'm getting to see each and every single Heart Blue player play the game slightly differently. It's actually a fairly interesting experience. I don't know. I hope people have been enjoying it. I hope people have been gleaming some amount of interest or value out of it, because I know it's a very different experience for people. Especially seeing every little player pilot it ever so slightly differently, choosing to prioritize different aspects of the deck. So, for example, people choosing between 1 and 2 cats has been a bit of a choice because we haven't seen it come up, but I know suddenly around the room today there's been quite a few games where these little interactions suddenly start adding up. Especially when you start checking crits like this. Yeah, your opponent just starts being able to make up a lot of ground. So, for example, we see a lot of Vigil players get rid of Shenry early, because obviously they're not going to be seeing orders very often. You don't want to leave too many things on the board. But at the same time, I think there's maybe an argument to be made that if you're into something that isn't Heartlaru and you're not so worried about being rushed early, that maybe you just keep that card in your hand. I suppose you never know. But one of the things I'm hoping to do with you guys is once we're looking for Top Cut to start happening, I think we're going to pull up a couple of the interesting deck lists that have been around today. I'd love to kind of get to showcase some of that around, because I know there's quite a few decks going around today that are really, really cool. But maybe didn't quite get the shine that he deserved. Like I said earlier, I know there's an Alfred running around. Zandy's been doing really, really well in Magnolia Patriarch. I believe he's either X1. I think he's X1 at the moment. Or X2. But again, in a tournament this size, that's still nothing to scoff at. Especially for a deck that's generally considered to be pretty low on the totem pole. Man, the Condor runs up here is going to try and find the Blade Loss again with the CB to spare. So the one thing that's interesting is I feel like a lot of Heartlaru players take CB early on because they want to resolve Blade Loss. Obviously, you want to draw, you want to plus, you want to thin. But the odd thing is I think it leaves you at a really awkward spot, because most people are on 1 cat, right? So you don't want to be spam. You can't spam it, obviously. But it kind of puts you in this weird position where you want it late game when you get choked out, but not wanting to use it early game means you're often on higher damage than you quote-unquote need to be, which is actually, I think, a weird kind of quirk of playing Heartlaru that I haven't actually been able to reconcile myself. So the idea becomes that because you're on 3 early, you have a lot less leeway and you're a lot more susceptible to your opponent just kind of sacking out the game, I guess. But, who am I to speak? Because at the end of the day, these players have been here this whole time, and they have been doing really, really well for themselves. So, at the end of the day, it is what it is, right? But you'd be hoping that if you're able to stabilize, like now, for example, your opponent's on 3, you go blank, and that's a critical trigger. And yeah, your opponent goes straight to 5, and I suppose, yeah, there you go. Then you just get rewarded, right? Double blank, Persona Ride gone, the one copy of your defending roll gone. Oh, looks like the camera is frozen there for a moment, so let's see what's going on there. There we go. Oh, there we go. It's back. Okay. Yeah, probably just a Wi-Fi issue. I think I'm going to try and reconnect after this match. It's just such a weird, interesting quirk of Heartlaru, because it's a lot about how the players approach the deck. Because I feel like a lot of this is leaving yourself a bit more open to getting quote-unquote sacked, but through decisions that you make. Like the decision to play that baller belly fight playmat. That playmat is actually so peak. It looks so good. I'm actually so sad I had to miss my sneak peek so I couldn't even play for it. Such a pretty deck, such a pretty playmat. What I'm trying to say is if any of you have it, reach out to me at EKoCVZ on Twitter. Because, yeah, especially Vigila now. We'll see if he has the Off Nights, because now'll be a really good time to show us the Off Nights. Yeah, shows Eisen. Is it Eisenruhr? I always get the names wrong. But yeah, just considering just raw overcall. Yep, there we go. Just straight overcalling. Trying to bind. There you go, binding a Blavilos. I don't know if I agree. I feel like a lot of the time having the shock there is actually pretty useful in terms of getting rid of your ray gods because they always hit, right? Especially when you have so much shield focus on them. I feel like you'd actually kind of want to keep that around and prioritize them swinging into your Vanguard. But who knows? Maybe it's because it's not getting CB, right? It's not getting the crit, so it's he's getting the 1 damage. Yeah, unfortunately, no Alpha Knights is brutal. You're gonna go CB1. You're gonna restand, swing. Your opponent's gonna say no god, and you're gonna go. That's not a problem, brother. Oh no, not saying. No, he's just thinking. Yeah, they're giving out the numbers. Hartler is thinking, calculating it out. See, maybe just maybe we can etch it out. The hand's looking mighty healthy, but is it enough? Yep, shows us the Drag Vader coming out. Hell yeah, brother. This Drag Vader is what dreams are made of. This will be a draw trigger. Yeah, such an incredible over trigger. It just goes again. You guarded it once, but can you do it again? But what about twice? Yes, somehow just about surviving this. What an absolutely incredible defense Axel is mounting here. But the interesting thing is he can mount a clapback. He can do more than defend. 1 damage. Yep, there it is. And Axel goes, do or die, baby. Now's the time. Top deck. We got that persona right, have we? Oh, he's thinking that's going to be a no then. And that's an Avarice Rester. Again, talking about lose conditions earlier. You're guaranteeing that 4th order. And not just like that, you're now able to recycle 2 per turn. Just so powerful. And the thing is, well, that's like you're looking at Axel here trying to kind of build his board and set up for the offensive, knowing full well that Dragon King's hand is not fantastic because we know he didn't have Elf Knights. When he's sitting on a grade 3, he really can't use. His hand is he did drag Vader, but it's not phenomenal. But the trouble is, on 5, it doesn't really need to be, right? It just needs to be enough. And you can argue his only saving grace here is, no persona right, but I don't even know if that's really enough. You're swinging Vanguard here, you're going to get the 15k intercept, but that's okay. You're swinging for, your 15s, your 23s. There you go, giving us the 25 and 38 numbers. But again, that's before triple drive. And yeah, you can see Vigila's hand is pretty lacking. It's only 4 cards. And while some of them have a lot of shield, well, Excel's got a lot of numbers. Yeah, he goes 33, 1 pass. First check, second check, Tiskar, third check. Heal trigger, he does heal, and that's going to be game. GG, well played to Dragon King. Congratulations to Excel for taking the win and proceeding to, I believe, be X1 or XO. Almost securing his position in top card, almost certainly securing his Dragon Empire Perfect Guard. But, guys, please do not go anywhere. I'm going to try and get us a little spicy dragon for the final round, but don't go anywhere. Okay, you got like 10, 15 minutes. You can go somewhere. Just don't be gone too long, because we're going to be coming back with final round of BCS Italy. It is a beautiful day out here. It's sunny. It's sky is clear, and it is like 5 degrees. But it's warm in here, and that's what matters. So guys, stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in just a few minutes for the final round of Swiss. Take care, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to the last round of BCS Italy. We have a battle of the X1s for you. The loser is going to be going X2 at the end of Swiss, which is a really stressful place to be in, but we'd love to see how this pans out. At the moment, we're going to have Mr. Winley, Michael Winley, versus Andre, aka Pappy 2. You guys would have seen him, or Pape 2, I don't know how he wants to be called. I don't know what this is called. I just live your life, boss. But what we're going to be doing is we're going to be transitioning over to the main fight screen in just a second, at which point we're going to be waiting for them to get going. Again, final round of Swiss kicking off a Heart Blue Rumera. Again, they know what's happening. They know what's up. 2 fantastic players. One of the most consistent performers in all of Europe versus the scrub who managed to win BSF Manchester. You can hear him raging as a testament to his inexperience. But guys, stay safe. We're going to be carrying in just a moment, as we're going to be telling our players that they're good to go as soon as they're ready. Yeah, in fact, you're probably going to hear me say it to them in just a second, because I'm going to get up and say it to them, because that's how we're doing it. Get going when they say go. Get going when they say start. You're good to go. Yeah. The inexperience or new players, huh? This is the Charles' first tournament this week. But no, it's actually been really impressive seeing how many players have been really performing today. But I do find that a lot of the lists, especially Fuller, have been like fairly similar recently. But I know, always good to see 2 friends face it off for the final battle. Although I believe that unless something goes catastrophically wrong, we're looking to be having a Sybil player in Top Gun. Top 16. No, Andre, your face, your forehead zoomed into the lens. Oh my god. It's the handsome morb.
I was looking at it. Why is the yellow box?
It's a trigger, Andre.
My other trigger.
Oh yeah, well, my bad.
Okay, players, 1 minute of attention before we start the last round. At the end of this round, if you are X1 or X0, please, when you finish your match, call a judge. Don't leave your table, don't do anything with your deck. We are going to go.
Don't leave your table, don't sniff no toes. Just call a judge and see how it goes.
We will not be asking you for ordering any deck or anything like that. We do the moment you finish.
Shout out Pete for giving me 2 Alka Libre FRs. Goated stuff.
And if you are X2 at the end of the round, you will need to wait around until we check the top 16 results. Okay? Is everyone ready? I believe I gave you.
Alright guys, and what we're going to do is we're going to be counting down to the final round of Swiss, as Michael and Andre are going to 3, 2, 1, and stand up the Vanguard. Good luck, have fun. As our 2 two of Europe's finest Hotler players are about to show down, and one of them securing their spot in the top cut. I believe Michael is currently 14th, Andre is 17th, so doing pretty well. But
number 3, please come to the judge table.
Michael showing his superiority with that Akina Crest generator. Andre suddenly can't keep up with that. I believe the kids call this aura farming. Andre continuing his quest of blaming the furniture. There you go, riding the toy soldier, generating the crest marker. Triple, it's a monster. And that's searching his deck for one of many toys are made for kids.
I get anxiety when I'm nervous. Really like get up close.
Yeah, because I saw in the Euro game, like, robbing
Oh, it's like this anxiety. Like if I rob it, it goes away.
Yeah, suddenly at the moment, getting to watch. I actually don't know how this mirror pans out. I would feel that this mirror is like fairly dice rolly, but I think it really depends how many hits are putting. Because if one of them's kind of hitting everything and the other one's just whiffing, then it's gonna be a low Michael favorite. But we'll see how that works out. Yeah, it's a lot of hot livers in here at the moment. So it's just a case of seeing them. Let's call this excessively. But that's the weird part, right? Because there's so many Hotlerus in the room, but the top cut is primarily made up currently of like face Rugers, I'm pretty sure. Which is like really interesting. Because it just means they've been outpricing all the Lurus today. Like, of course, there's some Lurus in top cut, right? Of course, one of these two is going to make it, so it's going to be at least one. But the majority, I believe, are face Rugers at the moment at the top tables. And there's one, of course, it's always going to be Remain, one Avamujika as well. Taking names, narrowly losing last game out. Literally coming out to 4 cards in deck, 2 triggers, 2 to pass, and whiffing the second trigger. It was a heal crit, would have ended the game, but, unfortunately that happens. And, that's Vanguard, baby. That happens sometimes. Yeah, Andre just going turbo on the offensive, just tri-laning, going in, I'm just going to have it. Ooh, Michael's showing us the toys are made for kids, milling a toys are made for kids. And yeah, just going to secure his 4th order there and then again. The Resta consistently keeps coming up as an option. And not just an option, but a deciding factor. And it's nothing to do with the fact that he's got the best sleeves in the game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, baby. There we go. That's going to be double happy toys. Aura farming. There you go, yeah, showing us the bear. Soul Blasting 2 and going to be adding the final toys back to hand, so the next turn gets another free ride off of it. And yeah, and you're just going to swap it and just tri-lane your opponent again in response. There you go, that's going to be the bear. 1, 2, 3, 1 into Soul. It's the Blavey loss, baby. It's just that easy. They go abusing the fact that that horse is not in the back row. Yeah, they go just forcing him to have the card. That's the Elementary to hand as well. Yeah, oh, that's going to be a heal that doesn't resolve. And a Persona Ride. Oh well, Andre also going to do matching Michael's Freak onto damage going into turn 2.
I know it's incorrect. I just
Howdy, partner. It's me, Coffin Baby. Looking to find my very own hydrogen bomb. There we go. We're still having a crazy moment. Yeah, the match is a bit difficult because I think a lot of the signaling is a little bit rough. But we're going to be passing forward. Andre is going to be narrowly through the time, playing the Vladilos. And we'll see if he's able to climb back. Because yeah, you can see Michael just choosing to stay on grade 2, just not. Doesn't need to go extra. No need to extend. Michael pushes. Andre tries to play his turn out here. Let's see if how much Andre's able to push Michael here. We go, yep, that's a nothing. That's a Persona Ride though, which is still going to put some pressure on Michael here. Because then Michael just rides up and just, tries to confirm the game. Because the thing is, on the one side, every Persona Ride here is great, but it also means that it's one more card in the hand that Michael doesn't really need to contend with just yet. So it's something you can especially capitalize on next turn. There you go. Immediately energy charging 3. Standing his orders, drawing a card. There you go. Did you know toys are made for kids? And have we got one in hand? Yes, we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And that's going to be 1 and a 2. Fantastic work here. Absolutely fantastic work coming out.
Non ero buono per vincere, cioè mi dà fastidio perché per una volta potevo avere la targhettina top 16.
Yeah, sorry, it's unfortunately not too much space. There's a couple tables near us, so unfortunately a lot of the noise when they travel, so do apologize if you pick up any background chatter. That's one of the things. So Hartler here especially is going to be riding up. He's going to be trying to commit as much as he can to the board here, and just maximize his thinning because he's going to need to check triggers now so that Andre doesn't run away with the game. Because at the moment we don't know if Michael has a Persona Ride, but we know that Andre has it. So like even if it's not this turn, we know his next turn is going to be scary, which means Michael basically needs to plan 2 turns from now, which is where I think this becomes really, really frightening if you're him. There you go, just going to add the order back to hand to play next turn. It's just that easy. Andre reliving as his inner child. You will not believe it. That man spent all of last night saying that. We're just trying to sleep, and this man is sitting in the room 6-7. Please stop. Cease this behavior. This is unbecoming of a BSF champion. That's a first check. That's gonna be a bear. A bear. Dude, that's not a bear. That's a critical trigger. No way my beloved is about to hit 3 crits, right? Ain't no way. It's no way this is how Michael breaks his stream curse, right? Nonetheless, that's 1. That's a heal. That is big. Is this how he breaks the curse? It might just be, in fairness. There you go, healing a bear. And the third check is... Oh, there's no third check, huh? Am I crazy or is that not triple drive? One sec. I've seen so many lures go in second today, I just forgot what effects do. For a moment, I'm like, wait, that's not triple drive, right? But no, I'm just call that out the loop. They call us geezers out the loop. They don't know half it.
Ripeto, mi scoccia solo perché ancora una volta arrivavano i top 16 e avevo il dischetto. Non mi serve l'energy generator per scritto top 16.
Yeah, Andrea, you're trying to stack his energy markers with nothing really to do with them. There you go. Gonna put 1 Blade Loss back into the soul then. The interesting part is going to be, is he going to have much more to do this time? So he's going to try and clear Michael's board a little bit. But unlike Michael, Andre's going to get his triple drive. And yeah, he's going to immediately draw 1, thin 3. 1, 2, 3. Goes, nope. Nuh-uh. Goes, nuh-uh, I'm good. I am alright, actually. Because the interesting thing is, like, it's crazy how much of this matchup relies on this... Oh. Let's, there we go. There we go, let's try that again. There we go, let's try that again. There we are. Yeah, just the fact that like you can on place like top 3 for like anything and put it into soul is just so crazy. Just the amount, like the level to which this matchup depends on this one card is diabolical. Checks the red OT, puts it under the Blavey loss. Yeah, you can see the regret in Andre's voice. It's so dishonest. You cannot believe it. He's gonna go first check, hits him with a red OT. 1 and 2. He does heal. Is that not a heal? No, that's a front, is it? No, it's a crit in the front. It's a crit in the front. My bad, my bad. So you could hear the scream of despair when Andre thinks he took a friend out. On OT, next turn he will not be making that noise. There you go. It's going to be the 4th order. We're going to go top 5. There you go. Just thinking, again, deck's looking awfully thin now. Gonna go, yep, rest 2. Let's put 2 in. Just thinking of what to put in. Checks his hand. Picks up his drop zone. I mean, I feel like it's probably gonna be, what? Probably like Horse and like Blavilos? Either Blavilos or the... yeah. Oh yeah, I suppose we get the bear as well. I suppose we don't fully know his hand just yet. And yeah, it's just a matter of fact of like, he's just going to be able to sort of build his board now and just try and finish Andre off. Andre's at 3 damage currently. And, you know, playing it a bit pretty close to the ground, actually. So we'll see what he's able to get away with.
I love that call.
There you go, swinging immediately with the little bear. Shows us a twin cast. Swings the Blavey. Crit and a guard. Swings with the Vanguard counterblast 1. Stands 1, 2, and 3. With triple drive. Cat. Crit. Oi, oi, oi. Thinking about it. Thinking about it. Oi. Crit fan power rare. Or thinking over the crit. Oh, it makes the Blavilos lethal. 3rd check. That's another critical trigger. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. It does heal as GG. There's a crit to the Vanguard. And Michael gets to break his on-stream curse. And finally, clear a top card on stream, no less. So guys, we're going to take a little break. We'll be back in, well, not very long, very shortly. We're going to be going over some of the decks that didn't quite make the cut. But for that, we got to find out what first did. So don't go anywhere. Stay safe. We'll be back in maybe about 10-15 minutes. And we're going to start talking to you guys through deck check about some of the decks that didn't quite make the cut today. So guys, get a drink, chill in, get comfortable, and stay tuned for top 16 starting in just about an hour total. Don't go anywhere. We'll see you very, very soon. Take care, guys. All right, guys, welcome back, everybody, to our, well, I was going to say quarterfinals, top 16 of Maxwell and Akatsuki Raito on Brangate and Dragon Empire. Absolutely phenomenal game coming up for you guys. Very, very excited. And sure do hope you guys have as good a time here as I am, because these games have been very, very exciting to keep an eye on. Yeah.
So,
There you go.
you have 30 minutes. Good luck to every one of you.
There we go. And so we are getting started.
Vanguard.
So we got Maxwell on the left on his Vaisruga versus Buffsagra. Interesting enough, we're actually seeing a lot of players kind of letting Buffsagra go first today. But Vaisruga, as we were talking with Peter earlier, is one of those decks where very much going second feels like a bit of a death sentence potentially. So the trouble here becomes that Vaisruga wants to aggress on the Bafsagra, but Bafsagra herself wants to be aggressed on, right? And the trouble is Bafsagra's clapback for being aggressed on is really scary, especially for a deck like Vaisruga. So for those of you who are just tuning in now, of course, we now know that there is a time limit for this round, and we don't want to be doing double losses, so we're going to be doing 3 turns into sudden death. And yeah, no, Bafsagra goes out the door swinging, but there is a defensive, so we just pass turn there and then. And Maxwell, again, doing really, really well. A lot of Vaisrugas out here in the top cut. You're performing super, super well. So very intriguing seeing, to be honest, just the quality of player here today has been absolutely fantastic. Sorry, had to clear my throat there. My apologies. And yeah, immediately shows them we get, ooh, interesting enough, proccing it on turn 2. Again, being very aggressive with it. On kind of only being able to hit one target. But yeah, no, he's just going for it. There you go, choosing the snake, calling it to the back row, and just leaving things where they stand. Yeah, not trying to aggress. Is he potentially considering? No, just swinging Rhaegar. Going to try and punish Akatsuki Fighter for leaving the front row up there. It's also the Shenri clone, so yeah, shows him the 15k. And he goes, that's a snake for me, buddy. And just continues to pass the turn. Showing us the Bafsagra re-ride. Yeah, you're watching Maxwell, you're knowing to damage deny the Bafsagra. Knowing that, you know, he probably, like we said earlier, probably can't handle the clapback, so don't extend. Don't bait responses you can't answer, right? Yeah. Bafsagra is out here performing so well. Really, really phenomenal stuff out here today. I'm generally really surprised with just the raw quality of games we got a chance to see today. Really, really happy with it. Honestly, I hope you guys have been enjoying that as well. I know that there is a bit of some potentially negative sentiment at the moment, but I think today has shown that despite being the same decks, there has been quite a bit going on in terms of individual games. Yeah, and just Vaisruga coming back up. You go Energy Charge 3. Yeah, that's going to be discarding another Mythish. Ride the Vaisruga with 1 Gauge Snake. There you go, rest 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's the one. Ooh, just 1 is a little rough. Yeah, thinking of the placement. Going to be in the column there. Perfect. Going to present the card to his opponent and swap them around, and then going to proc the half grid for a top 5. Any Mythish? Unfortunately, no Mythish, no Lunarian Order. And just like that, we're going to be having to try and resolve it a second time. There goes Soul Blast 2. With any luck, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we've already seen ours. Yep, there we go, that's our 3. That's 1, that's 2, and that's going to be a third. Ooh, the half grade is very nice. It goes another top 5. Phenomenal work here. Yeah, unfortunately whiffs again, but nonetheless, can't complain too much, right? Beggars can't be choosers, as they say. Yep, and that's the Gulmani. So, of course, for those of you that are unaware, or, you know, maybe haven't had the chance to queue into Vaisruga yet, what we just saw him play there is Il Gulmani, which effectively says, for the rest of the turn, you can counterblast 1. If you choose one of your grade 3 or greater Vanguards with Vaisruga, and it gets all of your Mythish cards get plus 5k, and all of your rear guards that have been placed by, that are Mythish and placed by an ability get an additional 5k. So unlike most of the other options, this is a counterblast, but it's also the highest power output that the deck can generally manifest. So for example, it turns all your wolves to 20s, and your snakes to 30s once you place the order. Or 35 and 25 addition, depending on how you called it. There you go, and then the Vanguard goes in, and of course with all this compression, is he feeling brave? 2 to pass, first check. That's a blank, and that's second check. It's also a blank, but those are 2 Mythish cards, which is going to make it very, very interesting with regards to whether we can really manifest, like, kind of generate the hand advantage he needs so to kill him this turn. Because on 1 CB, like, Bafsagra already kind of wasted a turn, because there's just not that much you can do without the mace, and Raito just wasn't able to find it this time. There you go. Text like, oh, that's the spear end. Okay, so this is one of the tech cards, let's call them, that we've been alluding to all day. So one of the cards that has been coming up, especially today for EKo Here, is, well, quite frankly, the spear, Aditya, because this was introduced quite a while ago in set 4, so the first kind of real support way for buff Sagara. So it replaces the sword, and it plays with Counterblast 1, and when it's armed, you may play an additional arms this turn, and it gets 10k. So it's effectively the mace, but instead of retire, you get to play another arm, and you draw one. So it's like a secondary shield. So it's all that extra shield value, and a 10k, and you just trade the pop for a draw. But again, with some matchups, that's honestly just worth it, I would argue. And I mean, it's clearly been working out for him today, so, who are we to judge? Although, yeah, going to 3 is unfortunate, but nonetheless, you can watch him, see how much he can really manifest on the clapback right now, right? Because, yeah, he's showing us 1 Yuga Mashad, draws 2, ditch the weapon. That's a sword. Can he show us the second one? Double Shenri clone. Can we see another one? Ooh, that's a critical trigger. The things we do for numbers, huh? Unfortnite. How very unfortnite. Energy charge 1, and that's going to be a Vilord, baby. Just like that. Yeah, that's going to be another Shenri clone. As the kids say, diabolical. Because, okay, actually, you know what? Let's bring it up for you guys, because I know people haven't really been playing buff Sagara recently. It has been considered as having fallen off. So let's not get it twisted. So in the back row rearguard circle, once per turn when you have the rearguard in the same background as it stands, if you have a buff Sagara, or when something in this column stands, it stands, and if you're a buff Sagara against 5k. But also at the end of battle, this unit boosted. If your Vanguard is armed with 2 or more cards, you put this into Soul and draw a card. So you can basically just do this after the restand and reap the rewards, as you will. You get to reap all the benefits that there are to just keep drawing, honestly. This deck is just a massive, hand machine. And then he just ends up moving it back next turn and interacting with it that way, because basically he just doesn't have pops. That's going to be first strike for a critical. So he's always swinging for 2 damage. Second and third. Double mill, but it is what it is. Gotta go Counterblast 1, restand. Just that easy. And just like that. Swing for 13, or was that 15? 3. Yeah, absolutely phenomenal numbers coming out here. There you go, takes it. That's going to be a crit. Unfortunate there. Looks like a double trigger, double crit even. Very, very unfortunate. Because the thing with Vaisruga is it really wants to be seeing those triggers in one form or another. Really anything but damage on the last swing of the turn will help. But it just proceeds to pass that doesn't even draw a card. Just goes, nope, not today. Nuh-uh, not my life. Just want to give his opponent the opportunity to put more cards back. So the trouble is, it's shield in hand, it's available next turn. Oh, sorry, it's shield. It makes more cards available to be thinned next turn, and it doesn't really change anything about your board state to be able to go with Mythic cards. So unironically denying it is potentially worth it. Because you argue the thin for them is more valuable than the one more card for you, which, I mean, depending on your hand size, I mean, Raito's looking pretty healthy, may very well be. There we go. He's going for the EV3. Just going to search the deck for a Lunar Idol straight up. Because, yeah, that's a nice Persona Ride as well. Yeah, God. 8 or 9 cards in hand. That's absolutely terrifying hand out of Sagara. That's the thing, like, the deck lost a lot of its kind of ceiling, but it's been able to draw a lot of cards recently. The thing is, it's high-quality cards as well. So oftentimes, you kind of cut back on the orders, and because you throw them away so quickly and you try and mill them out, you end up with a lot more, like, just, like, good stuff cards. So your actual hand quality is really good in Sagra. And it's a deck that is pumps out such big numbers that it doesn't actually care if your hand is full of triggers, which is actually fantastic, right? Because if you're trying to survive a turn, then, you know, all the more the merrier. There you go, just swings to the rear guard. Oh dear, okay. There goes the last one, 20k shield. Oh, did I say swinging to rear guard? Sorry, my bad. I meant swinging with the rear guard. My bad. My bad. Boom boom. Dum dum. Kind of last one. There you go, you can now attack from the back row for 35, I believe. That's first, that's second, that's a critical trigger. I think all effects on the rear guard snake. Into soul and counter charge 1. Phenomenal here. 40 on the other. Ooh, the EKo shot and the buff Sagra. Makes you wonder, it's like how valuable is the EKo shot here, right? Because he's on 4, so there's like an argument to be made. But I think if you have a PG, potentially like hard guard the EKo shot, take the Vanguard swing, and then PG the last swing with the 2 crits. Because the thing is, we already used up the shield for the Soul Blast earlier, so that's already gone. But in fairness, we don't actually know quite what his hand is just yet. He's been drawing a lot of cards in the past couple turns. Yep, takes it. Oh, there we go. Okay, I was about to say, I was just about to think myself, like, did he get rid of that? Or did he got that? Did I miss it? Yeah, I think it was, oh god, 68 swing. God damn. I'm thinking, trying to map out his hand. Is there enough? Can he manage 68? 68, needs to go to 73, needs 60k shield. Oi, oi, oi. 50, another 15? Another 5. Oh my goodness. Just enough. On nothing in hand. Diabolical. Absolutely, positively diabolical. But guys, are we looking at enough? Are we looking at salvation? Or are we looking at a poor excuse at a card in hand? Put a heal to soul. There you go, EV7 there to draw. What was that? That was an EV7, right? I hope I wasn't imagining things. I hope that was an EV7. He's on 3 now, but he also used EKo shot last turn, so I'm actually not. I'm saying, yeah, I'm just gonna, yeah. Hopefully, I didn't miss something there. There you go, just swing straight away. Big numbers, big damage, big numbers, big damage. First check. Heal, oi. Huge if true. Check. That's a Fire Regalis. Now that's unfortunate. Yeah, it's unfortunate. You don't get to really proc many of them, and I really feel like you really should be kind of arming here, but maybe I'm wrong. Who knows? I may very well be wrong. I wonder, if you're on 4, knowing that he's out to... Is there ever a world here where you just don't put him to 5? I know you feel the need to, because obviously you have the Shenry clone, but on 1 CB, like, he needs to have more, right? And there's like 2 or 3 public, I think? So the question becomes, does he have the 4th one, right? Yeah, it's just the one. Yeah, he's going to opt to gauge it. God, that deck's looking mighty thin. Mighty thin. But again, the draw last time could end up proving huge. We don't know, right? That's 1, yeah. And there he is. Never mind. I forget everything I said. Oh yeah, of course. It's basically guaranteed, isn't it? Because it's his whole deck. Yeah, I suppose that's more of an argument if he doesn't do anything last turn. Then, like, okay, maybe sure, but it'll be interesting, I think. Because yeah, it means he's 9 deck, probably 7 now, 6. Sorry, it was 8 in deck. He's probably 6 now because he hit twice. Because yeah, I think like forcing your opponent to be like, I'm swinging my buff 2 crit buff Sakura and you're gonna take it or die is like not awful actually. Takes it. Unfortunately, that's a Persona ride, which is that is actually kind of brutal. Because otherwise, you just call 2 of anything and just let it ride. Let it ride. That's a heal, but the heal does not resolve. Actually, fantastic job out of Raito here denying the heal. That's GG, and that's going to be game. And Maxwell is going to be carrying on to the top 8 bracket. Absolutely phenomenal job here. Doing a great job beating Raito, unfortunately, whose run ends here now. But nonetheless, absolutely godlike run today. Lots to be proud of. And what we're probably going to do is we're going to take a little bit of a short break while we get top 8 set up. We'll kind of be knocking them out back to back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be back in just a moment to see what's coming up next. So stay tuned. Top 8 coming right up. See you in a couple minutes. Take care, guys. Welcome back, everybody, to top 8 of BCS Italy. And we actually got a pretty crazy matchup here. We got Romain versus Nico, which means we're having Ava Mujica, aka V Messiah, versus Ava in top 8 of BCS. So we're actually going to be transitioning over to the main match screen where the players are about to be just deciding who's going to be going first. No stress, you know, there's only 2 more games till our world invite on the line, whatever. No stress, easy. There you go, you can see the Ava rolling an 8. And Romain rolls 11 because he's just better. Just born better. Okay.
Axel, Diane, we are waiting for you.
Diabolical turns out here. That is a crazy matchup, actually. I'm actually really happy I got to get this because I didn't think I was going to get Avamujica today. Hell yeah. Never count Romain out, I guess. Man is a fiend, a demon, if you will. Actually, you know what? I actually unironically think it's better to just have all the Avamujica cards pulled up because they keep coming up. That's the one interesting thing we're going to have is like with Avamujica is it's just V Messiah. Like it is just V Messiah. Because I have to pull up There we go. We can pull up the standard ones. A diabolical amount of crest generators. There we go. Again, I believe that their players are just going to be setting up now, ready to go for when the head judge finally tells them to get going. I think Jose's probably going to any minute now, but we'll see what's going to happen. Yeah, thankfully there's quite a bit of background noise from a lot of the neighboring tables, so with any luck, they shouldn't be hearing us too much. But we'll see on that one, I suppose. Because if I remember correctly, the main gimmick for this deck is basically just all of your things lock themselves, and then your Vanguard on attack just locks on locks.
Pod number 10. Vanguard side event pod number 10. Please follow
Get started as soon as you're ready.
Table.
And so we're going to be ready to go and kicking off top 8. I keep saying top 16.
Ready.
Yeah, and we're going to have Avamusica versus
Pod event. So we will be closing side events now.
absolutely diabolical cards. Because yeah, the main gimmick here is the fact that you have your grade 3 Vanguard, which is your, I think it's Oblivionis, I believe her name is. So if you played in order, you can counterblast 1, search your deck or drop for 1 music card and play it. And then at the end of the battle, your grade 3 Disregard attacked or boosted, you can lock it. So it's like a passive effect. And once per turn, when it attacks, if you play music order, unlock all of your locked cards. So literally just be Messiah.
Vanguard top 8 players. Now that you're all ready, good luck to all of you, and you have 30 minutes to begin.
Yeah, then you have like one column that's like on place. I think it's like top 5 for an order. And then you mill it, and then when it attacks, if your tunable is unlocked this time, you CB1, draw 1. And if your damage zone has, I think, 4 or more, you then perform 1 drive check. And of course, because it's CB, the unit behind it countercharges 1 for Assault Blast 2, and it's EB3 for Revive, which seems pretty coherent. And every time the other one is on place, counterblast 1 to top 5, to again find the music. And it gains like 5k, and like all of your Rearguards start scaling. I think you all gain plus 5k as well. And the background Guard, it's like on the last one, against 5k power, 5k shield. And then can on place, when it's unlocked from battle phase, you CB1 retire something. So in your battle phase, you can pop one of their units if that's relevant. So if you're going to trigger against Doji, you can force them to pop a card. But interestingly enough, we still see Avamusica running a lot of the old Morphonica ride lines because it helps them search the. I always forget the name of the package. It's the Draw 2 package that we started playing when the original packaging stuff came out. Yeah, and there's no top 5 for Avamusica card, like we were saying earlier. So he's only the grade 2, top 5. And because it's any Avamusica card, it doesn't just have to be the orders, which it can be. But in this case, again, it's going to be a lot of old arts that we are unfamiliar with, but we'll see what ends up coming up. So for example here, actually we can try and match what he's searching out here. So if I recall correctly, I believe that what we're seeing here is... Oh, just missed it. There we go. Yeah, I think it was the grade 3 he just searched out. Yeah, the one difficulty of all arts.
I will come back to later.
Yeah, and because he's searching the cry check, that's the one. So because he's playing Haruhikuge, he gets to search the cry check, then next turn we just allow him to go to and draw 1. Interesting, if you can actually resolve multiple of these per turn, so he can actually get a decent amount of draw out of nowhere early game with Avamusica, which I was talking to Romain earlier is where a lot of his kind of early game pressure comes from. And yeah, he just goes in, tri-lanes you, and makes sure you ride on grade 2 into 4 damage. And most decks just can't really keep up with that, honestly. You just kind of accept that you don't really out that.
This goes to drop 1.
And you can just see Evo already sending on 2 damage and 4 cards and drop hardly a hand at all, really. And you know the next turn, Romain's just going to ride up. He's going to make his board massive. He's going to swing 5 times. And Evo's just going to have to kind of sit there and take it, which is definitely a scary position to be in here, especially if you're an EKo. You make it this far in the tournament, you're doing good, you're feeling good, and then all of a sudden just all comes crashing down because you just queued into the one Romain Cardfight. And let me just rearrange his name there, sorry, just so he's a bit more visible. For some reason, our card machine bugs out a little bit if the name is long, so let's just readjust that a little bit. Hopefully, this is a bit more legible for you guys.
I will use my Vanguard spell, so I didn't play more of a spell, so I was going to play music from my deck of blocking options. So skill of this one was played check of 5 one.
There we go. Hopefully we're back now. Sorry guys. Had a little accidental OBS crash there. But with any luck we should be all sorted now, so apologies there. Hopefully everybody's back. We'll find out in a second, I suppose. Yeah, they have a twice amount of defense. Of course, Romain here goes to 3, but it's just not enough. We're gonna have Romain here coming back in force and beginning to pressure out the saver. Yeah, pressuring EKo out of the game almost completely, honestly. Calls out the grade 1. Because yeah, Mujik is going to be trying to build a board here as well. As we're going to see primarily, well, if we pull it up actually, we're actually going to see that the order behind him right now is, I believe it's Kill Kiss, which allows us to, when this card is put into Vanguard cycle top 5, choose up to 1 card from among them, put it into your hand, and shuffle the deck, which is pretty good, especially when the deck needs all 5 pieces to be live. So basically having a top 5 searcher is pretty fantastic. Yeah, so he's giving like 13 guys, so he's giving very small swings, but yeah, there goes that's a defensive, that's all good, but nonetheless, you're going to have a Vanguard swing now, and while the Vanguard is 20, that could still not be enough. Just unlocks everything. Yeah, Soul Blast 2, Counter Charge 1. They go 5k to everything. But yeah, because he didn't right from grade 3 to stone, there's no power to the back rows, but the front row is still nothing to scoff at here. Swings, goes intercept from the back row, says 2 to pass, and Romain goes 2 to pass, bet. First check, nothing. Second, that's a heal. And a heal is huge here, because again, you get access to all the musics that you damage, so it's fantastic actually. So yeah, 20 and 33 into 20. Yeah, it's such a small hand. It's so scary if you're sitting against Mujika, especially at this stage in the game. Yeah, go +1 damage. Like nothing happened. Again, yeah, the Ever rides up. Again, we see the brand new T-Fold clone, so This is actually, I believe, the first proper tournament with this card's legal. I know obviously we had Vienna, but not as popular, let's call it, in Vienna. We had the new Bubble Mine Monster Order, which is effectively literally just a T. Oh no, Bob. Why do I keep saying Bubble Mine? It's literally just a T-fold clone, except for set orders. So phenomenal in Ava. A lot of deck thinning, and being a 20k beater just makes it arguably just slightly better Bubble Mine, honestly. It's a thinning Bubble Mine. Yeah, there you go. Finds the blue order. The famous Blue Lab. Yeah, and then just plays in top 5. Goes 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Anything to hit? Just thinking about it. Yep, goes nope. No way, bro. Unfortunate. Very, very unfortunate. Because the thing is Ava tries to survive the game by having like a high quality hand, but Ava Mujika is just going to be bashing you in the teeth every single turn, with the hope that eventually you just won't have it. But you wonder how much it can actually mount the defense, because Ava Mujika runs a lot of shieldless cards. It does sometimes mean that Ava can just sack it out of games, or just swings it, and Ava Mujika on like a 7-card hand just doesn't have that much shield. There you go, yeah, he really forgot to do the blue lab. And Romain goes, yeah, that's absolutely fine. Swing, bind, search your deck for a Obscadade. There you go, picking good old reliable grade 3 Obscadade. There you go, gives a 5k off the order as well. Yeah, and of course, because we're on 3 orders, that Obscadade is also going to get a critical. First check. Yeah, unfortunately 2 blanks there. It's going to be a T-fold clone. There goes Stand Andro. Are we going to get to see the Persona right here? One way to find out. There we go, that's going to be the Persona right coming out.
So this one depending on the number of different abilities I get selected, 2 or more, my Vanguard gets a crit. 4 or more, if you're breaking, my Vanguard gets a flag. So basically, my Vanguard
There we go, yeah. And I believe at this stage, we're going to see Romain show us another one of the brand new Ava Mujika orders. I believe we're currently looking at Musica Calestis, which is when your lock card is unlocked during your battle, perform all of the following according to the number of different units unlocked this turn. If it's 2 or more, your Vanguard gets a crit. If it's 4 or more, you also gain a drive. If your opponent's grade 3 or greater, but of course, at this stage in the game, he is. So our leader, I suppose, transforms from a 23k beta to 23 2-crit triple drive. Which, adds a little bit of pressure, because the stick starts drive checking 4 times a turn. Which maybe gives you a glimpse of how Romain made it this far, because that's a lot of aggression, that's a lot of power coming out of a small band of girls.
If you want to know after the unlock, both my Rodas will be 33 and my Vanguard will be 23.
Yeah, it goes to 5. God damn. And there you go. And still got so many attacks to go and just not the hand to do it. Romain is looking to be in a very favored position in this game. It gives 5k to the whole board because of course Persona Road and your opponent is grade 3, so that's a 5 to everything situation. He shows another PG out of the hand. It's like a 2, 3 card hand, 4 card hand. Check second, nothing. Third check. Ooh. Not ideal, but there you go. 43 1 drive check. No guard, and that's going to be that's a heal trigger that doesn't go off, but he is going to resolve the damage. And is that a heal? It is not a heal, and that's going to be good game. GG, with Romain progressing on to the top 4 table. Oh, wrong one. That's the solo table. There we go. So, guys, we're going to go grab the top 4 tables. There's not going to be very much left, and there's not much time left in the day. But top 4 is coming right up. Let's go get the match ready for you. Stay safe. Jinx, don't go anywhere. Please stay tuned. Hopefully the stream's back up. If it's not, the recording is. So, guys, we'll see you in just a few minutes. Take care. All right, welcome back, everybody, to BCS Italy. This is the top 4 round coming up right now, and we've got a very exciting match for you in the form of Kalen versus Romain. So, of course, we had Romain showing us how to kick ass and take names earlier on in the day. Last round, actually, in fact. But right now, we're going to be transitioning over to him playing against Katana World. Interestingly enough, which is going to be certainly one of the more interesting games I think we've laid out. I know we've got I think still says Braincade, but it's going to be transitioning over soon enough. So bear with me just a moment. We're going to be able to change that very soon. I think our thing is just bugging out a moment, so just bear with us a moment.
Because it says when you write.
There you go. We'll be changing over to Buddyfy in just a second. So the players are just going to be starting to talk, getting set up, getting ready. So don't go anywhere. Lots to look forward to, actually.
For me, it's 6. I fought 6 different decks in 4 weeks. Yeah, no for you, no virtual for me, that's something I would like.
Well, actually, I'd like half of that.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a very interesting match. This is going to be a very, very interesting match as well to see, because we're going to be having sort of 2 of the arguably best decks in the hole right now. So we got Athemujiko's, again, not necessarily very, very aggressive, but keeps locking itself. So it's not really restanding. So I'll be interested in how Kalen, who spent really the day teching for things like Heartlaru, is going to contend with this kind of development. Let's quickly just move this a little bit in front so we can be that little bit quieter. But yeah, as somebody like Kalen who kind of teched this whole day towards being able to beat Heartlaru, I'm very curious how he's going to be able to contend with a deck that just doesn't do very much restanding at all. But meanwhile, yeah, Romain has just been on a hot streak. That man has been toying with his food, let's call it, all day. So yeah, Romain's been doing it phenomenally. Very, very proud of him. Very, very happy for him as well. And as well, we're going to take Romain. To be fair, last time we had Romain like this for a top cut, we had him for, well, the entirety of the top cut. So we'll see if that holds true today. Who knows, right? Never know. In a game like Vanguard, one never knows.
Oh, right. They're I was back in 2020, 2020 makes sense. Oh, look, well,
We're always doing something like that. House racing, busy. Corey Way can get to 8,000 seats and spend 100,000 or Tubbo can get to Diamond. Corey Way's gonna win because Diamond it took me Tubbo sucks.
There we go.
But it's fun to watch.
Yeah, that's right. I'm just gonna flip this.
Where's the flag? There wasn't enough emphasis.
There you go, Ken. Just making sure he gets to say it now, so that nobody can tell him he didn't. He is raising the flag. He is becoming a buddy fighter in front of our very eyes. But man, what a day. What an absolutely fantastic run people have been having today. Crazy, crazy stuff. There you go, let's put that in the chat as well, just so people are aware. There you go, and our players are going to be standing up, the Vanguard, raising the flag, and proceeding to play Kalen here. Going, going second, energy charging 3. There you go.
First, I will search for a higher
Yeah, our card of choice here for the discard as well is, like we saw earlier, it was in fact Kilkiss, which I want to say we should be able to work with here with any luck. I think this should load up properly. You know what? For a horizontal, I'll take it. It's so at the moment, like we said earlier, it lets you, when it's placed on your guard cycle, look at the top 5 cards of your deck, choose up to one of them Mujika, and put it into your hand. So again, very much a deck fixer. And yeah, interesting enough, so Kelly and Pete were playing on the exact same list. So, we had the little deck tech earlier with Pete. You guys know exactly what Kellen is on then. So the interesting thing is, there are really 2 options when you're looking at things like Katana World. By that I mean, you can really build it one of 2 ways. You can try and accept that you're either trying to tech into Vase Rigger or Hearthlore at present. And if you're trying to tech into Hearthlore, as Kalen has, for better or for worse today, you're going to be looking at a lot more of the Snake Eye. By that I mean, you're going to be looking at preventing restands on your opponent's side. While, alternatively, if you're playing into, for example, a lot more Vase Riggers, you're going to be running 3 copies of the Hades Hall instead, because you want to start turning off the things as to basically kill that tempo before they're able to really get their feet on the ground. Which again is something, as we said earlier, that Katana World is just surprisingly good at. Because the thing is, Romain is going to go out swinging. He's never going to slow down, and he's going to beat you in every single turn. And this is not going to be very much that you can do about it. But in the meantime, on the other hand of that, you're going to have, Katana World is just going to try and grind you out of resources and kill your tempo in its tracks. But Ken, of course, knows what he's up against. He knows that his win con here is more likely than not the Hades Fall. By repeatedly forcing your opponent to just have things in hand, well, eventually they won't, right?
J'ai gagné les gars, j'ai double crit. Voilà, on va le prendre de Robert. Désolé, je vais pas le prendre de Robert. Ce que j'aime pas avec ce deck, particulièrement, c'est que c'est deux jeux, soit t'as des pièces, tu gagnes, soit t'as pas des pièces. Par contre, première, il est un peu chiant, parce qu'il est parti de peut-être, et il est plus là.
And that's another kill kiss coming out as well. There we are, and the next card that we're going to be searching here, especially for Romain, because My man needs his pieces. Guess the man his bits. Yeah, it's going to be the grade 1. Okay, so I believe she's the on unlock retire, which is pretty good. I believe we're having a little bit of a bug here with our program. It's absolutely fine. We're going to try that again one more time before, let's just say, giving up on it. There we are. Yeah, I think it's a function of the network here, unfortunately. But that's fine. So we got 2 damage on Kalen, 1 on Remain. And Remain is, yeah, Remain's just refusing to let up.
This one is like solid.
The thing is, I think Romain recognizes that the CD on retire really isn't real in this deck because almost everything Kellen is going to have a body soul. There you go, just swings man. Yeah, no reason to complicate it. Front.
I'm not choosing that.
Yeah, can I discard another? Yeah, because Milan's just not going to come up this game. As only going top 5 for a ninja art. There we are. Remain here nodding in agreement. He's like, yep, yes, sir. Oh, canceling it. There we go. It's going to be the SD, since he has a Byakuya. There we go. That's 2 ninjas need to boost the hand. Buddy calls, counter charges 1. Gage pays a gauge, sacks it off, searches his deck for 2. I think it's 2 ninja, 1 ninja, 1 scroll. Yeah, 2 ninjas, there we go. There we are, we'll get everybody solved. And yeah, like we were saying earlier, so we're going to pull it up now for you guys. The main card we're going to be looking at for Kalen here is, well, it's double gauge, so it's really putting in a lot of work for us here. We're going to look at the Gejimaru we mentioned earlier. So he has double strike, so he's a restander, and he gains 5k if he has a ninja in soul. So of course, if you're going to have the SD from before, it's going to be a 20k swing. So again, nothing to scoff at. And with the restand and soul guard, there's a lot to be done here. Yeah, but the thing is, Kalen is just going to start aggressing now. Like, Romain is sitting on 1 damage, and Kalen's sitting on 3, and it's just going to start swinging.
It's going to get 5.
They just informed us that he's going to be getting another 5k in a moment. Yeah, and then Yakiya's going to swing. That's going to be, I believe, a 15k swing. But, of course, no intercept, so that's a 10k shield from hand, which Romain generally doesn't have, but it is a critical trigger, which is big. And yeah, you can hear the frustration in Kalen's voice, and honestly, I don't blame him. That's got to be rough.
Nervous card in this stance. Nervous card. This one will be 2020.
Anyway, sometimes it's just games where I'm just like, I'm so engrossed in like watching how it plays out, I just forget to speak. That's probably not my best trait. But I mean, because the thing is, like, under those traps remains, like, Kalen could be setting up anything, right? So you got to think about how to sequence it to try and bait things out if you can, to try and be able to kind of play the game out from this point, because otherwise Romain's going to have a pretty hard time building a board. And unfortunately, the one weakness of the banking decks is they do need all the girls. All the girls from their respective map, they do need all of them, or it's just not enough.
That's the central house last time. You have a response? What did you do first? You're good.
Yeah, just double checking some confirmation. Ken's like, yep, yes sir, sounds good. Because yeah, Ken has to let things resolve, let's call it. Because yep, top 5 add 1 to hand. Thinking of the ad. There you go, going to be adding another one at the grade 1 girl in the back right. Yeah, and he's going to pop the grade 2 there for, because once he confirms the auto ability resolves, he sees him at a grade 1, so he pops the grade 2 and just hope he has it. That's the thing, like, importantly, these things happen after all auto abilities resolve. So if your opponent searches something, you can punish them for their decision and pop you. So they come in a grade 1, you just pop the grade 2.
So skill,
It's the ones that like relocks it.
yeah, I reborn 1 in addition to
Yeah, and basically all the so what we're seeing here out of Romain is we get to see the following. So let me grab that for you guys. We're looking at. There you go. There you go. We're looking at Crucifix X. Or Crucifix X, I guess would be the pronunciation, I guess? I'm assuming. When this card is put on rig outside, if you have a Vanguard, choose up to 1 unit from your drop, and if you don't have a Vanguard with that name, revive it. And if your Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, you discard 1, and your locked unit cards cannot be unlocked during that turn's end phase. And at the end of your opponent's next turn, choose all of your locked cards and unlock them. So basically, you get to protect your whole board from turn, which is pretty good. Some would say that's pretty poggies.
So what are the power games right now? Are these just 18 and 23?
yeah, for now, yes.
Okay, so they're not actually strong.
Yeah. It's basically like my forever next Iron Darkstorm for now.
Ah, okay.
Basically. Although Valkyries, I'll swing for 18 Vanguard.
18 cards to give him a 10k here.
Nothing gets crit on lock, right?
I have an order that does that, but I didn't.
In this instance, you got metal.
Let's go. Swing for 23 Vanguard.
You got gives him a 23 cast to give him a 15, which he's happy to give him.
Swing Vanguard, skill, unlock all my cards.
Yeah.
Swing, unlock everything.
So multi-skill, I'll give 5 to all my rear guard because of grade 3.
Because of grade 3, it's all the bolts, so it goes 28-33 now.
And because of grade 3, it's 5k more. Sure. So my back row, these 2 back row have 10k, and this one has 5. Yeah, 26.
There you go, 26 into counts 30. He's gonna go. There you go, call the PG from the gauge. Oh, sorry, that's also because the Vanguard attack, he draws a card. It's 1 to pass, 2 to pass. And he goes first check, PG second check. That's Persona, which is pretty good. Again, Killen has a pretty hard time killing from his current position, so I think you're actually pretty happy here if you remain. Because Killen has a Ken's deck has a pretty hard time killing you from kind of 2 damage. You do generally need a little bit more to start really threatening, and we'll see how that works out. Yeah, Ken goes to 4 here. No, 5. Oh, I'm going to assume he didn't use the secondary effect of Crucifix X, because if he did, then that shouldn't be unlocking. But yeah, I'm just going to assume the judge just didn't resolve it. Or just didn't pay the additional cost. Yeah, there you go. I'm going to bring the Byakuya back now. About 2 ninjas back to hand. That's the thing, look, Remain's hand is looking fairly healthy. As well as the fact we know he just tribe-checked a PG and a Persona, right? So Kellen is probably starting to recognize that if he can't secure the game this turn, he has to secure a way to survive until next turn. Okay, so that's when he has to take it. That's an order, which is super unfortunate. 30, no intercepts. So he's going to be demanding 20k shield in hand here. So a 15k and a 5. And so where intercepts would have just been perfect. Takes that to another blank. Gonna counterblast 1 instead with double strike. Swing. It's gonna be discard 1, restand. Yep, gives him the PG, of course. Choosing not to intercept here, despite this being the only time that this is possible. Fast track, blue over trigger. That's pretty good. It's pretty good. No intercepts. If he has the second PG, he has it. Yep, that's gonna be a front going straight to the hand. 100 million. Yeah, he's got the PG. Yeah, absolutely, he's got the second PG there. That's just what it takes. Swing and probably take that. No, you have to burn a PG. Yeah, that's going to be a critical. Yep, yes, sir. If that's a heal for turn, he's going to be a little frustrated. Nah, he's looking fine there. Yeah, correct decision 100% of the time there. Yeah, and the thing is, from 5, like, Kellen now just has to go, can you survive the turn? So the thing is, yeah, Kellen, the way Kellen set his turn up, it basically means that Romain doesn't need to commit the boosters, because Kellen hasn't set up a way to remove future ones. So there's kind of like no point in doing it, you just want to live through the turn, because, you know, you're actually in a pretty good position come, you know, Romain's turn now. And then it comes back to him, he doesn't need to rebuild anything, he can commit his hand to guarding, he doesn't need to risk things getting popped too much. So for example here, there's just no risk of that, so Romain doesn't need to play around that. You're just playing against the Gage and Kalen's order, which is presumably going to be either a PG or a draw one. And then the question is that enough? 5 attacks, 1 damage that you can't take. Take 1 damage and you lose if it's not a heal. Very, very difficult position to be here right now.
Here, more reasons. Still didn't. I'll Carlos one for Vanguard.
So this is the one that gives me money.
Yeah, basically.
Does it still need to be like here to get the
Yeah. So yeah, I can recall something over.
Okay, so Vanguard just capped 23. Or is there anything that makes Vanguard higher than 10?
No.
Okay. And that goes first.
Battleface, I was trying for 20 with Vanguard.
There we go. Carries on swinging. First swing, killing got the guard. Second swing. What's that? 10, 20, 33?
Yeah.
Kellen goes Yezor. Kellen goes not even a problem.
Vanguard's got unlocked.
Swing Vanguard, everything unlocks. But he's on 5 damage as well, so his Raygon will be getting a drive check at this stage. So then, yeah, it's can Kalen survive 3 more attacks on what he has in hand?
And older skill plus a crit and a buff for Vanguard and anything else. So, Cosmic Hammer now?
7. I'm brain rotted and proud.
Yeah, so more gas mask for Norris and Noah, I can restart one and Oregon.
There you go.
And I will very tired though. So Vanguard for 23 to crit 3 guys.
There you go. That's the triple drive 2 crit we were looking at earlier. So, yeah, this is very much final turn out of Remain here. You will draw 1. That's a front. That's very, very good to see.
Oh, it's free drive. Well, I can still guard with it. I just need to think of why I set it up. So you said it was 23, right? I'm on 28. I'm on 40. Great, that's free.
3 pass. Let's see it. First check. 3 to pass. Full game.
I have 3 drops on and 3 damage, so 6.
6 public triggers all. Yeah, 3 to pass, baby. It's just that easy. Let's see what he's got. OT pass, first check, second check, third check. It's going to be a blank.
So she was on purpose turn, and I'm at home also, possibly on for later.
So second order.
That's a PG. It's the last card he's had a PG. That'll be crazy. That is diabolical. That's actually really big. Just being a card that Remain doesn't need to discard now is so huge. Oh my goodness, the top deck of the Persona is crazy strong. Carlos 1, grab 2 ninjas. Oh, sorry, 1 ninja scroll, 1 ninja art.
Yeah, taking from club.
Oh, right.
Yeah, can't try to build up. I'll try to build up as high numbers as possible because that is a big hand coming out of Remain's side. Unless Kellen's about to start checking heals, this might be difficult. There we go. going for the gauges here.
Unless the queen moves.
I think it's going to
There you go, 4 minutes left in the game as well.
I haven't played a normal level this time. Nice practice.
Yeah, there goes going to be swinging for, I believe that's 25 or 30. No intercepts. Again, these numbers just demand so much shield value, like raw shield value, out of Romain's hand. Yeah, I mean, calculating his swinging here. Going, what, 10, 15, 20, 30? Yeah, you just cost so much out of his hand. But the trouble is, both of his rear guards are going to be restanding, so he knows that whatever he's going to give Kalen, Kalen's going to demand again. And bigger. So it's actually is a very difficult decision, because you can't just take this stuff willy-nilly, because if it's not defensive, you're contending with all this and more. More news at 6. You're going to get a PG, unfortunately. I think it's such a close game. Actually, such an elbow. He takes it. It's going to be game. And Kalen is going to finally make it to top grand finals. Katana World is in grand finals. Kalen Fallon earns his world's invite. And it also means that Romain is going to be going to fight off for the next matchup. So unfortunately, this game is slightly slowed by the OT demanding the second PG, and yet that is Vanguard at the moment. It is what it is, but nonetheless a fantastic close game. Romain has got to win the next game, and he will have the Worlds invite himself. And Kalen will be going to Worlds. Stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. Grand Finals coming up very shortly. See you in just a couple minutes, guys. All right, welcome back, everybody, to the grand finals of Romain versus Kalen, facing off to see, well, who's getting the paid invite to Worlds, I suppose. There's going to be another Katana World versus, well, Hardler matchup. So, Romain seems to be very confident that he's got the matchup in the bag against Katana World following some discussion, so we'll see how that pans out. Going to be very, very interesting to see, because generally Kalen built this entire deck with the sole intention of trying to defeat Katana World, of trying to defeat Hardler. So, we'll see what Batman with prep time is capable of achieving. But yeah, unfortunately, right after this game is over, we're going to have to dash because our flight is in like 3 hours, and we still got to get to the airport. So, and we still got to pack up. So, screw getting to the airport. Yeah, Kalen radiating the whimsical Christmas spirit with his sleeves. So, move the grand final sign around a bit. It is a little bit big, but that's okay. There we go. And our players are going to be good to go, mulliganing, deciding who's going to be going first and who's going to be going second, and then beginning the grand finals.
just have to acknowledge it, this game. It's not bad because I don't pay for it. But I would like the hotel room. Alright.
Right, guys, and Grand Finals is going to be kicking off. Oh, there you go, Cass, to make sure for the obligatory raise the flag. As he continues his absolute tear through Italy.
Finally putting that there. It's not going to do anything.
They're going to continue to gauge, as well as generate the scroll and the crest. Yeah, considering the draw one, show the Heartlore, and search your deck for 8 toys are made for kids, which you're going to play straight away, and then proceed to go top 5 for up to 2 happy toys, put up to 1 of them to hand and the rest into soul.
Oh, really?
Because you get a match of other team.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, match of to me. It was like $16. It was so
They get Pikachu and the EV ones.
yeah, it's
There you go with Heartlore. I wonder if Heartlore's going to try and aggress Killen here, surely. You're going to try and aggress as much as possible to put Killen on the back foot before you're able to, further able to kind of facilitate their interruptions for the game.
that's a very tough cut of
Yeah, you can see Romain here trying to go for the maximum. There you go, trying to go for the maximum aggression here. Tri-laning, making sure Killen doesn't check anything. And yes, trying to go for the tri-lane and just push him out of the game before he's ever able to stabilize. Because I think if your Heartlore like that is probably your win con, I don't think you're ever winning the long game here. So you kind of have to. And Killen's always going to take the first one in case it's a defensive. It's unfortunately not. Vanguard, he's going to say OT pass. That's not an OT, but that's not a defensive either. And it's going to go straight to 2 damage, no defensives. And something tells me this is kind of going to be the tempo of the game going forward. There you go, go and show us another Byakuya. Yep, pays 1 gauge. Search your deck for 2 ninjas. Oh, there you go. Sorry there. Having a couple of problems with the camera, but hopefully they don't recur too much.
The last 2 rounds.
There you go. There's going to be a Vanguard swing. No guard. Yep. It's going to be a horse. And then in what looks like a 13k swing, or 80k swing, sorry, which demands a 5k, and another swing which is a defensive. So again, 2, but the defensive doesn't super matter. Well, actually not at all. It's the last attack of the turn. There you go, dishing the cat, knowing full well this is not going to be a game where damage and all is going to particularly matter for you. Plus, if I recall correctly, I wonder if Romain is on 2 cats potentially. I would assume so, right? We'll see just what they're able to manifest here. Because yeah, again, trying to, oh my god, finding all the cats that there are. Finds the toys, so you guys find another, oh cat? I meant bunny. Yeah, because no Killen was considering playing Heartler to play here, but something about it was just rubbing him the wrong way, and he ends up picking Katana World. I mean, obviously it pays off, right? Earned him his World's Invite. Who knew the thing in Bushiroad events at the moment is to play other card games? If you play Shadowverse, you're playing Vanguard. If you're playing Vanguard, you're playing Buddy Fight. And if you're playing Buddy Fight, you're not at a Bushiroad event. Yeah, shows us the Folklore. And we put one of the horses into Soul. Yep, that's going to be 16. Yep, 16, 10, 18 there. Going 16, takes it. That's a front trigger, phenomenal. Trigger to hit. Intercepts, OT pass. And nope, that's not OT, but it is a heal. Oh, sorry, it's a crit. No, it's a heal, but he doesn't heal because he's on 2. Wow, that's not, yeah. Accepting this as not being a long game. That's going to be your Hades as well. Yeah, sorry, they accidentally ignore the background noise. Thank you. I'll introduce noise gate in future events. I'll try. I promise I'll try. Yeah, unfortunately, one of the drawbacks of having this be basically inside of my mouth is that we end up having to pick up some background noise that we wouldn't normally be wanting to pick up. There we go. Yeah, and your first swing is going to be, I believe, a 15. Yeah, so you guys give him a 10k because no intercepts. That's a PG. That's not what you'd like to be seeing. It's another 15. Should give us a, yep, that's fine. Restands the Vanguard swing. On attack, we're going to discard 1, restand the grade 2. No guard, first check. Second check. Let's go into 4. Yep, gives him a trigger. Then 1 more. Gives him another. Yep. There we are. But the hand is certainly getting small. Yep, absolutely whiffs. No hits. Bunch of triggers. But yeah, you can hear the relief in Killen's voice there. Because yeah, this is kind of how you want your opponent's game to go if you're trying to vie for a sponsored invite for Worlds. Okay, we're going to be building the deck. 1, 2, 3. Yep, we're going to find the horse. But importantly, the horse is not out of there yet. So the one on the field is cool, but the horse doesn't really do anything in this game. It's just deck thinning and really hoping that you can do more than Killen does, because Killen feels like he's in a pretty good position right now. Because the thing is, the thing with Katana World is, it's not even about whether it itself can shut down your restanders. It's about what the fear of them being able to will fundamentally change how you're willing to play the game. So a lot of hardcore players can still play the game by just going Vanguard first, but it becomes increasingly difficult to plan around that. Or like they'll do things like this, right, where they'll leave a rear guard just in case. So obviously here he can only restand one, but there are worlds where if you don't see the restand order, you do just sort of hold back a little bit, which reduces your ceiling, but it does ensure that you're not automatically getting turn skipped. Yeah, that's a front as well. Ooh. If you're killing, you're probably really happy there, actually. There's only one front. And you could tell his hand before didn't feel phenomenal, which means he probably has a pretty good shot here. Especially when this is Battle Door and one card, and you go, yeah, okay. Or one damage, you go, yeah, sure, that's fine. And does he have the Persona right? He absolutely does. Absolutely incredible. Seeing Kellen see all three of his Persona rights by turn 4. That's really good for him. And again, now he's trying to build his maximum board in order to try and wrap this game up, because again, we got a glimpse of Remain's hand and it's not fantastic. And of course, his Gani pattern last turn sort of indicates he doesn't want to be wasting too much here. So you get to capitalize on that at this stage, because he's not done with the intercept. He's going to have to give you the cards from hand. You hit the Persona right. So there is a very real chance that this is going to be Kalen's final turn, where he just tries to push for game and wrap it up. Tries to pump your units as big as possible and just go swinging. There you go, yeah, big as possible. And again, he's also trying to buff his Vanguard here, because this is the attack where he can intercept, so he still wants to try to be forcing cards from hand at that stage. You don't want to be able to like 2 to pass them on just re-intercept. There you go, giving you the 3K. So we were talking about this earlier, just being able to tick from 20 or 30 to 33 or 23 is really, really tight. It's really close. And then I guess with that extra, 5K shield that your opponent now needs to have is just that little bit too much for them. Takes it, goes to 5. That's a defensive, which you're not happy to see, but I'm sure Romain is very, very happy right now. Yeah, no, that's your restand opportunity.
So these two are going to get 5, if I can do this now. So 25, 35, and 13, 48. This one is 38 and 13, 51.
I wonder if Romain thinks he can't intercept on this swing. Oh, no, there we go. He knows. One pass, first check. Second check. Yeah, might just be enough. There's going to be 51. And Kalen has it. That's going to be game. And Kalen is going to be going to Worlds. What a god. Guys, we're going to do a whole overview of this match later on, but now we got to pack. We got to fly in 3 hours. Don't go anywhere, guys. Stay safe, take care, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.